Lisa's in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Just fine, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, it's an honor to speak with you.
Me too.
This is actually my second or third time. I can't remember. I spoke to you about a year ago because I had this idea that I was going to pay off the house after I cashed out some stock from my company from a former job. But you said it wasn't going to be enough to pay it off, and I really should stick it in my retirement since I hadn't put it in there for a while, any retirement funds. So what I did was I cashed out the stock, and I put it in the bank, and then I sat on it for a year. And it's sitting in the bank right now, you know, gathering dust, collecting like 0.0001% interest. And the problem is my husband and I are at a disagreement about what to do with the money because the financial broker that we're using kind of made a boo-boo when I rolled over my IRA to him with my husband's IRA. The two of us rolled over 4 accounts. So it was kind of confusing for them. But what they ended up doing was they put my Roth money into a traditional IRA, and so I didn't catch it until I was actually doing taxes, and by then a year had passed, and they didn't believe me, and it took me like a week of losing sleep and kind of having to garner evidence from, you know, my former employer to show that I had given them both funds. There was 2 different funds, Roth and non-Roth. And he kind of just laughed at me and said, "We don't make mistakes. You're mistaken." And my husband says I should just forget it and forgive, which, you know, we're Christians. We believe in forgiveness. We believe in tithing. But I have this big chunk of money. I want to max out my IRA for the year. And at Class A shares, you know, you give this to the guy, and it's 5% off the top. And I know he's not going to make another mistake because I'm going to watch him like a hawk. But I know I could just do it myself, you know, if I just opened up my own account and rolled it over. But then I'm leaving my husband behind because we both use the same investor. And I don't know, emotionally it feels like I'm just divided from my husband if I walk away and find a new place to invest that IRA.
Okay. Well, let's clarify something.
Okay.
When Christians are called to forgive, there's a difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. Okay? If someone abuses your child, would be one of the worst possible things you could think of, right?
Right.
And I don't know how I could forgive them. I'd probably kill them. But I'm called as a Christian to forgive them.
Right.
That does not mean I hire them as a babysitter the next week. That's the difference in forgiveness and reconciliation. Okay? Forgiveness does not mean you submit yourself to someone stealing your wallet again. You know, that's the difference in reconciliation and forgiveness. You cannot be reconciled and still have forgiven. It means I don't want anything to do with them, but I've forgiven them. Okay?
Right.
And so let's separate those two clearly from a spiritual standpoint. Now, once we've covered that, I don't think this is a financial problem. I think this is a problem with you and your husband. And I think the two of you are going to have to reconcile. You're either going to have to accept that this guy is competent and made one simple error. The problem is not the error, though. The problem is the arrogance in the way you were treated.
Yeah.
And the fact that your husband doesn't back you on that is a little troubling. Okay, so you smell a rat. You've got a problem with this guy. And I got to tell you, I'm the financial guy. I work with financial people all the time. We've got accounts, we've got investments, we've got all these different things going on. And if my wife says I will not work with this guy anymore, then we have to put the brakes on. Even though she doesn't know the details, I mean, she's probably not as well versed as you sound like you are. Okay?
Yes.
When she understands our investments, but you're neck deep in this stuff. You got your fingers down in it, okay?
Right.
But, you know, but even though she's not doesn't have her fingers as far into it maybe as you do, if she's got a bad feeling about the guy, we don't work there anymore. We have to change. But for 2 reasons. One is Proverbs 31 says, "Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, and he will have no lack of gain." And so every time I go against one of Sharon's feelings, it costs me a minimum of $10,000. I quit doing it.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Okay. No, but she doesn't misplace that and become arrogant because it says a virtuous wife.
Right.
So that means she doesn't play that trump card hardly ever. But if she says, that guy's a bad guy, that gal's a bad gal, then, you know what? I don't do deals with them. You know, and the fact that if this guy mistreated my wife that way, been arrogant to her, you know, that would have ended the thing for me. And it's not because I'm being chivalrous or something like that. It's because it's a financial principle. I have no lack of gain because my wife and I stay in unity. Do you see the thing? For me, it's a financial pragmatist principle. And that's where I want you and your husband to get back to on this. And again, that may be kind of a spiritual decision between the two of you. And then you fire this guy, and you move your accounts.
So you don't recommend us taking all of our?
I would move everything.
All or nothing, not split them up.
No, I would move everything because you don't trust him.
Well, see, and he also manages his 401ks. Company.
You can move.
So we're not really diversified when you look at it from his perspective.
That's. I don't mind one person having all your accounts. That's not a diversification issue. Diversification is where the investments are placed, not who's the broker, who the advisor is.
Well, then just one more quick thing then.
Let me stop. One other issue, and let me finish, and then I'll let you go to one more quick thing, okay? The other problem is if he dies, this is your guy that you don't trust.
Right.
Your husband dies. If I die and my wife has a guy that she don't trust, and that's who she's got to call up and start managing the money with, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Right.
And vice versa. If I don't trust the guy, we're not doing deals with him. Because if Sharon dies, I got to deal with him. You know? And something that she's working on, whatever. So, anyway, now your second part was what?
Well, since we've already rolled over to this stockbroker and it was a 5% off the top commission, if we turn around and roll it over again, we're talking about roughly $100,000 going to another broker, then isn't that going to be a second 5% off the tops? They're going to be losing another $5,000 in commission?
Probably, if you stay within the fund family, probably not. If you just keep it in the same funds and move it to a different managing broker, probably not.
Okay, I never thought of that.
Probably move it over.
That's a good idea.
Because your fund choice is not your question. It's the way the guy treated you. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Mitch is in Atlanta. Mitch, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you. Oh, man, this is incredible. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, happy to do it. Thanks for calling.
Wow. Here's where I am. In 2008, I'm a full-time realtor. I've been a realtor for 25 years. And 2008-9, when the market changed, I lost everything. So I did foreclosure. A year and a half later, I bought a house of $40,000. And my parents are renovators, so they came down and renovated the house. So the house is, I have no debt. You know, pay the house off. It's probably worth about $300,000 now, and I have no debt. You know, I do a debit card. I got $6,000 in checking. I've got $23,000 in savings. I have a lot of free time. I'm still work full time as a realtor, but I have a lot of free time, and I don't know what to do now. I don't know if I can score anymore. You know, no debt, zero. And I don't spend on anything. I don't buy anything. I just don't know what to do at this point. If my parents, if they pass away, which would be the worst day of my life, they have about 13 houses. So me and my brother, my sister will be looking pretty good with money.
When you say you don't know what to do you mean do with your day because you're just not interested in selling houses anymore? Is that what you're saying?
No, I do. I want to have a retirement, and I just don't know how to do it. I mean, you know, I've got the 6%. I've got money in the bank, but I need retirement, and I don't know how to do that. It sounds like
the real estate properties would become part of your portfolio to cash flow some retirement, correct?
Yes.
But for now, let's say your parents live much longer. What would you do if you retired tomorrow? Where would your income come from?
Well, I do cars as a hobby.
Have you been investing at all into the market?
No, that's the problem. I don't know where to invest and what to do. I have zero clue about what to do from here.
So you have no 401k, no retirement accounts at all?
No IRAs?
No.
Okay.
No.
That would be a good first step. How old are you?
I'm 59. I guess I'm at step 7 of your baby steps.
How much cash you have in the bank?
I got $22,000 in savings and $6,000 in checking.
That would be basically your emergency fund and spending money, maybe a little bit more. So we still need to figure out retirement income.
What are you making per year on average?
Between 50 and 60,000.
So you're not selling a ton of homes.
No, I'm not doing a lot. Market's crazy; it's up and down. But no, I'm not doing a ton of business.
Well, I tell you what, this is complex. So, George, let's hold Mitch over because I think there are a lot of people that are in his shoes. Mitch, George is going to walk you through step by step what you need to do.
So, you said your parents have a bunch of property. They have about 13 properties that you would inherit solely?
It'd be me, my brother, my sister. So we're probably looking about maybe $600,000 each, probably.
Worth of property.
At least.
Do you think they would want to sell it, or do they want to keep it and use the cash flow as income?
They've been talking about selling. They've sold one. They bought another one. They just buy and sell, and I don't know. They're 80 and 83 years old, and they just don't want to stop working. They're both really in really good shape. They live close to Nashville too, so I'm that's close to my hometown.
Cool.
But I just don't.
So
know
let's
what
find a
to do
plan
now.
for Mitch. Aside from whatever happens later down the line, I want to make sure that you know what to do in the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Yes. Yeah.
So on one side, financially, we've got to get you investing. You're at a great place to do it because you have no debt, including a mortgage payment. And so there's a lot of options for real estate agents. Number one, you can look into IRAs. Roth IRA is going to be a great option for you. And you can look into, are you self-employed, no employees?
Self-employed.
Okay.
Yes.
You can also look into a SEP IRA, which is for self-employed folks that have no employees, and you can contribute up to 25% of your income, which is incredible comparatively to a lot of other investing options.
Okay.
So those are two options right off the bat that I can think of. Solo 401ks are also an option. I would connect with a SmartVestor Pro at RamseySolutions.com who can walk you through all of the options for your specific situation.
Do I look pretty good on paper with my age and no debt? I mean,
yes.
Where do I stand?
Well,
I don't
you
know.
need more income.
As far as retiring tomorrow, you'd have nothing to live off of. And so that's the only concern. You're in a great spot financially compared to the rest of America. And so the goal right now is to get you a little nest egg to create some cash flow so that when you want to retire 10 years from now and not have to work, you're able to do that.
So a second job is what I need to do, I think.
Well, I'm going to push you on that. I don't know if you need a second job. I think you need either to do better in your job or get a better job. And I'm not in any way criticizing you, but I lived in the Atlanta area for 11 years. And a real estate agent who's only making $50,000 a year in the Atlanta area either doesn't want to make much more than that or doesn't really like it, and there's something that's kind of holding you back from really getting after it.
How many homes did you sell in 2022?
Hold on a second. I want to get that answer there. So I just nailed it. What did I nail?
Because I've done it for 25 years, and people are just not the same as they used to be, and dealing with the public, people are just mean. They're just mean people out there, and I'm just having a hard time dealing with people's attitudes and everything else.
Okay, so that's what's keeping you from getting after it. There's not much to encourage you to get out there and kill something and drag it home.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So that's because you're not really wired for this. I don't know that people are any more rude or than they were 20 years ago. It's a tough business to get out there and put yourself out there because it's got a lot of rejection associated with it if you don't get people listing with you or people buying from you. And I think you're in the wrong business.
Cars are my passion. Real estate used to be my passion.
What do you need when you say cars are your passion? What do you mean? Flipping them, renovating them, mechanics? What are we talking about?
I have a car channel on YouTube, and I just love finding cars and saving them from being crushed or whatever.
What do you do with them when you save them?
Well, I've helped people. I found people will call me, and I have tried to, find cars for people, and I've done that a lot lately, but I don't make any really money off that, but I just like finding these, especially Jaguars and Trans Ams. I just love these cars, and I want to save as much as I can, and me saving a car.
All right, so while I love that,
Yeah.
we're beginning to see something that fires you up, okay? So you love restoration, renovation, that there's something there. So you need to get into that type of business. You've got to be making money. And real estate's, I mean, again, you can get over this and kind of bite the bullet and start getting more active. And I would recommend that for the next however many months it's going to take for you to get clear on what it is you really want to do and what you may have to do to get qualified to do it. But if you just started like flipping cars and getting serious about it, you may have to sell a house or two and take some of that commission and put it towards, now I'm going to go buy a car. I'm going to buy a car for $5,000 or $6,000. That with about $3,000 to $6,000 of work, I can sell it for $20,000. All right.
The profit you just said exactly what I'm wanting to do.
Then do it. Do it. Because here's the deal. You should be highly motivated right now because you're not making enough money. Mitch, you should be making six figures or more. But to get you to six figures is all about getting serious. And I think you've got a highly, highly motivated cause right now, which is I need to get busy funding my retirement. I've done some good things. I've lived on less than I make. I have no debt. That's all great. But now it's about income. You need to do something that makes your heart swell, brother.
I appreciate. You're right.
What's going on?
You're right.
Where's this emotion coming from? What's going on?
I'm just tired. I'm just tired of getting out there and doing the best I can, but I keep getting, it don't seem to be working out.
It's not working out. It's not working out because it's actually not your best, and it's not because you're lazy. It's because you got yourself into a role that's just not a good fit for you. It's why I teach. We are on purpose, Mitch. We are doing what we were born to do. When we use what we do best, that's talent, to do something we love, that's passion, to produce results that matter to us, and you've never had that. So your soul...
I used to be on fire. I used to be.
When was it?
Not now.
What were you doing when you were on fire?
I was really loving what I did. The thing I love to do is find homes for people that needed a home. I love being a part of their new adventure and their new life.
Well, something changed, so we don't need to recycle what we've talked about so far, but you can regather that. Maybe you should start looking for the people that really need the extra help, people that are looking for a house that they don't know where to find it. Maybe it's lower income, or but you need to get some juice, man. And you need to think about the cars and all of that, but start doing something that you love, that you look forward to when you get out of bed, not something you're worried about dealing with. And that's what's going on. That's why you're exhausted to the point of emotional.
You're nailing it right on the head. Everything you're saying is exactly what I thought. Actually, I knew it. I just need to hear it.
You needed a push. You needed a push. There is work that you were put on this planet to do, and there are people on the other side of that work, Mitch. You need to reconnect with your heart and work that fires you up because you look forward to it, you enjoy it, and it produces a result that gives you satisfaction and significance. George,
I love this.
There's he's literally emotionally drained because it's been so long.
He thinks it's too late.
But it's been so long since he got up and finished a day of work where he felt good about himself. That's a heavy weight.
Absolutely. Hey, Mitch, I want to send you Ken's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, as well as his Get Clear Career Assessment. I think those two resources are going to help you step into this next chapter of your life. Call it an encore career, but you're not done, Mitch. You've got a lot of contribution to make in this world, and I'm excited to see you step into that with no debt. What a great place to start. Thank you for the call, brother. This is The Ramsey Show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
All right, up next we have Larry in Evansville. Hey, Larry, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call today. How you doing?
We're doing great. How can we help?
So I'm recently found you guys, and I'm really trying hard to figure out budgeting type things. I grew up in a family that, didn't really care about it, and I'm trying to figure it out. And I've looked at every dollar, and I'm just overwhelmed with things. Like, I try and budget, and then something comes up, and it's just very overwhelming. And it's just, I'm to the point of, I'm tired of, living every paycheck to paycheck, and, the next week I'm broke. And it's just hard. And I just need help budgeting. I need to figure out, like, where do I start? Like,
what's the problem right now when you say I feel broke? Are there too many bills after your paychecks show up?
So what happened is, a couple of years ago, I did some bad things. I got addicted to some things after an accident I had, and I screwed up our family. And when I did that, it made a lot of debt for my family. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
And I'm trying to get out of it. And I try so hard. I work, 65 hours a week. And it's just, I don't know. I honestly can't tell you exactly where it's going. I am paying down the debt that I'm doing, but then also, car repairs come up. My kids need something.
Yeah. Yeah. How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
How old are they?
2, 5, and 8.
Wow. So you guys have been through a lot, Larry, for over the last, how long has this journey been for you guys? And are you sober now?
I've been sober for over a year now.
Okay.
A great guy from Boston, took me up there and helped me out. And
yeah.
It's just the last 6 years before that, I was working, but I'd leave the job because, something would happen or I wouldn't go to work, and, I'd get behind on things. And, I'd say, I'll push this off for now. And it's all just coming back to haunt me. And I'm trying so hard to budget money.
Okay, so tell me this, Larry. How much do you guys make in a year, just household income?
So my wife makes about 30, about 28 before taxes. And then me, I just started back working about a year ago. And this past year, I made about 51, consistent staying, with the same employer.
That's great. What do you do?
I work in home health care. I work with mentally handicapped individuals.
Okay.
It's something I've loved for a while.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So you guys are making around 81,000. And what debt do you guys have?
So we have a car that got repoed a couple years ago that I because of me, that I'm working to pay off just to, get that out of there.
Yeah.
We got my wife's car now that, we had to have because we had to have reliable transportation for her.
Mm-hmm. How much is that? How much is that?
It's about 8 right now.
8,000. Okay. And how much is it that you're repaying for the repossession?
About 14.
Okay.
I had bought it for about 16, but I owed 14 and, just basically stopped paying.
Yeah. Okay. So the 2 cars, what else?
And then we have combined between just little loans that we tried to get by, and loans to family, we have about, 15 there.
Okay.
And then medical debt, we have about 6,000, but I'm trying to get some assistance from their financial aid there.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's just a process of trying to get that figured out right now.
For sure.
Anything else? Any credit card debt? Student
so
loans?
That's in with the 15, there's some credit cards, which is about, 1,500 of it.
Okay.
The rest is loans to family, little loans just here and there that, I thought would, get me by to where I need to be. And then I found you guys and, realized that there's something I'm doing wrong. And, I finally built up the courage and then also the embarrassment that I have to, call you guys and, just figure it out. And
yeah,
I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I think you've won probably the hardest battle. Money is nothing compared to fighting and becoming sober and walking that whole journey, Larry. So if you can do that, you can do this. Okay. So just hear me say that. It's an amazing thing when people find freedom in one area of their life. It seems like it opens up the door in other areas that they long for that same level of peace and freedom, that you've found in that part of your life. And now that's transferring to your money. And money, was and is possibly in the present still a stressful place, but we want to be able to walk with you and give you just some peace for a plan, and I think it's one of those things too, Larry, that it can carry a lot of shame and a lot of guilt, because the hard thing with money is that you see the numbers of the past that stay with you, and you have to, face those and figure out what to do. But just know what you've done in this last year. You can do this. Like, you guys together can do this process. Is your marriage in a good spot? You and your wife, are you guys on the same team, just at least from the financial standpoint, that you guys are wanting to work a plan together?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot, and she just, not the best with math, so she leaves it up to me, and I don't want to, stress her out too much, but, I talked to her about it, but I'm just still ashamed of it to, talk too much.
Okay. Okay. So, what I would suggest as we start working through the budget is I do want her to be involved, and she doesn't have to be the one that, is all excited about it and like gets in there every day and all the things. But I want you guys to be in a constant communication and be on the same team, because that's going to help with these day-to-day things. Because if the kids pipe up and want something, there's a good chance you guys are going to look at them and say the famous words I always heard growing up: it's not in the budget. It's not in the budget. Like, there's going to be times that you guys as a family are going to have to make some hard decisions to make these numbers work. And that's part of the process, right? That you're learning how to do this and define margin. So in every dollar we talk about, and you said you've walked through it, but your income minus those expenses equaling zero. And we have on Every Dollar Premium, which we'll give you after this call, if you don't have that one already, it's our paid subscription part of Every Dollar. But what's so great is they have a paycheck planning application within it. And so what ends up happening, Larry, we find that what's difficult is you plan out your month and you say, okay, we're going to spend, $600 on groceries. But then all of a sudden, the mortgage or the rent hits, the electricity bill, like how all the bills are lined up, one paycheck of the first isn't going to cover it all, right? And
you run out of money before those bills are paid.
That's
and
right.
So it'll help you figure that out.
Yeah, and it feels like you're broke in that sense. And so what the paycheck planning part of Every Dollar does is it's able to show you, hey, here's where you're getting close to the red. So what can you rearrange in your budget to make sure that paycheck goes as far as you need it to go, with some cushion even till you're paid again on the 15th or however often you're paid. And so that money then is going to be able to take you through it. And then there is a goal, Larry, I would say, from budgeting, at least for me, George, is that you're kind of a paycheck ahead. So you always have that cushion. So instead of using the money that just hits your account, you're kind of using the money from the paycheck before even, just to give you some breathing room to not feel like, oh my gosh, our account is getting down to zero, right? And so that may take a few paycheck cycles to get in that place. But do you guys have any money saved at all? Do you have an emergency fund?
No.
Okay.
I've been trying, and anytime I do it, and then something comes up, and
what are the things that are coming up? You've mentioned that a few times. What are those kind of things?
Just at the beginning of the school year, my son, has gained weight and lost a lot of weight, and so we had to buy him a whole new wardrobe of clothes, and his mother, who is not my wife currently, there's just a lot of, stuff going on there. Like, she, I feel like sometimes I have to replace her because she chose other people over him. And, I try and overcompensate. I'm not going to lie to nobody.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get past that. But
yeah,
I hate seeing the way he's broken because of it. And it's just messing with me. So,
yeah. Which is very understandable. I mean, I see that, and we see that a lot with families, that there is that overcompensation of buying things for kids or wanting that. And I'll tell you, Larry, though, at the end of the day, what he needs and what he wants is love and acceptance from the people in his life, and that's you. And so, I mean, and so that is something that you are going to have to be the adult in those situations and say, that this toy is not going to be the thing that brings him lasting joy and acceptance and love. Like, it's just not. And so knowing that, even though it is so easy just to run to stuff and buy stuff to make someone feel good for a moment, there will be a boundary there. So I think that there's going to be a level of discipline that you and your wife, I want you to get on the same page with her and say, okay, once we do this budget, it's done. And the kids are going to ask, stuff is going to come up, and we have to say no. We have to stick to this because I want you to get $1,000 quickly. If you guys don't have any money saved, even getting a starter emergency fund of $1,000 it's going to free you up. And as you go through every dollar, again, those are places where you're going to be able to say in categories, okay, we used to spend this much and not to eat. We're not doing that. And we're putting that aside here. Like you really do sit there and take things away, lower those expenses. And then for you, if there is a way to up some income for this season, I think it's one of the best things that you could do just to bring in some extra money to get that $1,000 and then start working your way through this debt and working your way to pay this debt off. And I mean, there is hope in this. I mean, we get these calls all the time.
And you
Larry.
make 80 and you owe 43. This is a very fixable problem, and it might take 2 years, but we can get out of this. So
that's right.
Tactical things, Larry. You can add a miscellaneous category to the budget for some ankle biters. You can also print out your bank statement, and that way you'll see a real picture of what was spent in the last few months. That's going to help with this budget as well.
Yeah, and give it 3 months, Larry. I mean, we're in February, March, April. Give it April, May, okay? Don't give up. Keep sticking with it. But hold on the line. Austin will pick up. We're going to give you Financial Peace University, our 7-lesson course on money, and Every Dollar Premium, just to make sure that you guys have the knowledge that you need as you start this journey. We're cheering for you.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hey, Steven. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, or good afternoon, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. How can we help?
Good. So I'm kind of in a position, so I'm really just kind of looking for some advice. So my wife was involved in a car accident about a year and a half ago.
Oh, gosh. Is she okay?
Yeah, she ended up being okay. She had some, she almost had to have some surgeries and everything, and it affected her work. She's a hairstylist, so she works for herself. She had some hand injuries and things like that. So we incurred some medical bills and some time off work and everything else. Kind of my question is, I've got a list of our payments and what our debts are. And we're expecting to get about $22,750 back in a settlement from that accident. And I was just wondering if you guys could help point me in the right direction, what we should maybe pay off, or if we should put it in our savings account and just sit on it and continue to make our monthly payments like normal. Just kind of what the best course of action you guys thought would be.
Yeah, it's a good question. Do you guys have any money in savings right now?
Very little. So we actually we have 4 kids. One of our kids is disabled. So it's kind of it's a back and forth thing.
Okay. So really nothing in savings. So what's your debt like? Give me like a list of it and the amounts.
Yeah. So our house, we owe about $44,600 on our house. We just incurred a new debt, which had to buy her a vehicle after the accident. Hers was totaled. We owe $21,000 on it. We got a pickup that I drive, owe $17,000 on it. And then we've got a personal loan for about $2,000, and then somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 to $5,500 in credit card debt.
Oh, Steven, you're not going to like what we say.
That's fine. No, that's what I'm looking for.
How much do you guys make a year, Steven?
About $75,000.
Okay. Yes. So.
Okay, can I say it before you give it to him, Rachel? Let me just say this, Steven, how'd you find us?
I was actually just scrolling through Facebook and ran across some Dave Ramsey videos and started listening. And
how long ago?
Not very.
Okay,
probably 3 months ago, if that.
All right, so you are like in the entryway to our gang, right?
Yeah, you could call it the infancy, I guess.
Okay, so I'll be super gentle and kind, okay? I want you to begin to transform your language.
Okay.
From I had to go take a loan out and buy a $21,000 car. I have to have a $17,000 truck to, we chose to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. That's going to be key as Rachel walks through, because when you approach life as reactive, life did this, so I just have to do this, you will stay broke for the rest of your life. If you say, come what may, I will stand firm on a principle. I don't borrow any money outside of a mortgage, period, ever. And a mortgage only if I got to. Now you're about changing your entire family tree. Okay?
Okay.
It's about taking ownership. Okay? All right, Rachel.
Stephen, how much could you get for the $21,000 car? Have you Kelly Blue Booked any of these in your truck?
Yeah. So my truck's actually worth about $30,000 in today's market.
Okay.
I actually just looked it up the other day, and actually had the dealership. The dealership called me the other day offering me $30,000 just to buy it outright from me.
Wow. Okay.
Not interested in doing that. I mean, well, I guess I could be.
Yeah, but you're going to. You're going to
You
get
might
real
be.
interested.
You might be in a second. How about the $21,000?
I could definitely be interested in that. And then I think my wife's van, it's probably worth right at what we owe on it.
Okay. And did you say you have $5,500 in credit card debt or $500?
Yeah. About $5,500.
Okay. And what is the credit card debt? What does that consist of? What were you guys swiping the credit card for?
You know, it really, I mean, it was kind of Christmas last year, and then, you know, and I listened to part of the show earlier when you were guys talking about Christmas.
You're one of the 25%, Stephen.
Yeah, and I was really hit home.
Yeah.
And then, you know, school closed and everything else.
Okay, so it's just life. Okay. So one bright side of this, Stephen, to make you be like, okay, you're normal. You guys literally are the every American family. You got 2 car loans, you got some credit card debt, you got a personal loan, and you're just living life. But you probably feel like, Stephen, oh my gosh, we work really hard, and I feel like we're broke. I feel like we're barely making by. How is that possible? Okay, so that feeling that you're feeling is a flag that is raised in your emotions to say, like, okay, we're not doing this correctly. So the way you guys have been looking at money, because you called in this show, the way we're going to advise you is a complete 180 of how you've been looking at money. And here's the deal too, Stephen. You have to realize, okay, I have to do a 180 because what I've been doing is getting me these results. And I don't want these results. I want something different, which means my actions and my thought process have to be completely different now, right? So what we're going to say is probably going to radically shake you up, and you're going to be like, wait, these people are insane. Maybe a little, but we're also not broke. So let me just give you
we do these things in our own homes.
Yes,
okay?
We live this stuff out, Stephen. So if I woke up in Stephen's shoes and your wife's shoes, here's what I would do. I'd sell your truck today, get the $30,000, go get a $15,000 car. That debt's completely gone. You got a great truck or great car, whatever you have for $15K, you're calling it a day. I would take the $22,000 that you guys have, and I would knock out the personal loan. I would knock out the credit card debt, and then I would put anything else that's there. I'm trying to do this quick math. Anything else left at the car loan. So you guys will probably have about, I think, $15,000 left on the van. And I want you, Stephen, for about a year it doesn't have to be a year. Yeah, maybe a year, to work extra. I want you guys to take on extra jobs, either at your primary job. I want you to drive for Uber Eats. I want you to do the most radical stuff to earn extra money and get this van paid off, because you could look up in 1 year, Stephen, and your whole life looks completely different. But
I actually just started a new job, a new side job. If you will.
Good. Okay.
So I'm a career firefighter. That's what I do for a living.
Okay.
And frankly, there's no money in that.
Oh, sorry. Oh, shoot, Stephen. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We're going into a break anyways. But all that to say, that's exactly what I would do, what I laid out for you. And it's going to feel different. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to be strange. But I'm telling you, Stephen, this $22,000, if you guys get this settlement and you get this cash and you don't change anything, you don't cut up credit cards, you keep living your life, it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. Put it to good use.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by YRefi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
Hi, I've been with my boyfriend for some time now, and basically for the last year we've been kind of planning to buy a house together. So I've been going through the steps and saving money, and recently he's been kind of hinting at the fact that he's going to propose soon. So I kind of sat down with him to see over the last year how much he's saved towards this house, so we kind of know where we're falling. And I discovered after a year that he basically hasn't saved any money. And during that period of the year, I have been taking on most of the financial burdens because I make significantly more money than he does. And I'm kind of shocked by the fact that he hasn't saved any money, and I don't really know how to go forward, so I wanted your advice.
Yeah, good question. On the one hand, I get why you're concerned, because in you guys' relationship, it sounds like there was kind of an agreed on point that you wanted to reach, and you were going to try to reach it together. And it seems like he hasn't, held up his side of the deal. But from my perspective, I would say he doesn't have to contribute to this at all, because it's really not a great idea for you guys to buy a house together if you're not married. And it's really not a great idea for you guys to be combining your money in any sort of way if you're not married. It's really great for you guys to say, okay, say you do live together. I'm paying my portion, you pay your portion, but we're not doing this thing together until there's some legality protection surrounding it in marriage.
I agree with that. But, Nicole, how did you feel? I got a point to make after I ask her this question. How did you feel when you found out?
That's actually the plan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
But the plan is not to buy the house until we get married. That's why he's telling me that the engagement is coming soon. So, we're getting the ducks in the row for, okay, we're engaged now. That means after we do the wedding, we're going to be buying the house, but the house is going to be the biggest fee, right?
I see.
Yeah, but okay. So how did you feel? What emotions and thoughts did you have when you found out that he hadn't been saving any money?
I was absolutely devastated because he's living at home with we don't live together now. He's living at home with his family. And I've been spending the money on everything, all of our dates. I've been putting away tons of money, and I make 3 times the amount of money he does.
How long have you been dating?
Just over a year.
I think this is a very clear, I'm going to call it yellow light.
Oh, I would have said red flag.
Well, you always surprise me. I feel I think it's a yellow light. I think in the sense of this, what I mean by yellow light is
proceed with caution.
No, it's we sit down. She doesn't dump him. Red light to me is dumping, leaves him. I'm out. Yellow light is sit down and go. We need to do some premarital. I mean, if we're talking this, we need to get in alignment on this because this is what I was devastated. And you may have already shared that with him, Nicole, but even if you have, there needs to be a true alignment conversation.
Yeah.
And is he going to show you in the days and weeks and months ahead that he understands your values and is in alignment with your values, and he begins to save some money? I would not even say yes to his proposal. I wouldn't move forward on anything until that. That's what I mean by yellow light.
I agree with that. I think Ken and I are saying the same thing. We just used different colors, because red for me means like, let's stop and see if anything dangerous is happening.
Yeah.
And so my question for him would be like, okay, you've not been saving. Can you tell me why? And then can you tell me, like, well, what have you been using your money for instead, because you're still living at home? I would have real questions, and I would want real answers, because that's indicative of what it will be like in your marriage when you speak about money.
Well, I know the answer to that. I did ask that question. And the majority of his money has been spent on food and video games.
Again, massive, like construction sign going, watch out. Cliff ahead, Nicole, are you feeling that too?
Yeah, that's what I'm calling, because it's
okay. So can I play? If I could play older brother, or I might be old enough to be your dad for all I know, I would just tell you that this is a serious conversation. He needs to make some changes in his life if he wants to be in your life. That would be my bumper sticker.
What do you see about him that's really, I want to go in another direction. What do you see about him that is really great? That you go, this guy's got motivation. This guy's got that thing. This guy, like, tell me those things. I'm just curious.
Why I love him. He has been my rock. Like, I've opened up a ton of new businesses in the last year, and every single one I've done, he's had my back through every single one. He's so genuine. He is so sweet, and he is so kind-hearted. I've never met a man like him in my life.
Okay, I like that. Listen, I'm gonna say something really harsh, and I realize this. You can get all of those things from a pet. Support, somebody to be there to talk about. I want you to be able to say deeper things. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes sense. I love this. I love you're bringing the heat today.
What you said, like, that's a golden retriever, and we love that. That's why we love our animals. They're always there for us, unconditionally. You know, they're there to support us. They've got that.
By the way, he's doing, by playing video games and buying fast food, he is essentially the same as a golden retriever there as well, just costing you money.
And I want to hear you say, you know,
wow.
This guy, you know, if you were to ask me or my husband that same question, it would be more about what they bring out of us. And what I see, when I go, oh man, nobody works harder than Sam Warshaw. Like, that's inspiring to me. The way he will get up and do whatever it takes to take care of his family, the way that he'll take care of his kids, like the way he's sacrificed for us year after, like, those are the things that I want to hear. Yep. And I'm not hearing that. That's why I kind of flipped it to see, okay, what do you guys mean to each other, and what roles are you playing? And is it beyond just, well, you know, they're there when I need them. You know, and what does that even mean?
Yeah, he's a very sweet guy.
A nice guy.
All the things. He's also a pretty decent gamer, sounds like, you know, but we got to, you see where I'm going, just Nicole? I got a chuckle out of you. I mean, listen, you can love someone and decide to also say they're not the person that they need to be right now for me to decide to marry them.
Yes.
I think this is a very real conversation. Back in my day, we used DTR, define the relationship. Kids don't know what that means, I'm sure.
DTR.
I'm sure I dated myself again on that. But I think that's what's got to happen.
Yeah, I think so too, because...
All right, give her the... All right, so give her the... you're the strong female. I think she's a strong female. Give her 30 seconds on how she starts that conversation with our guy.
Oh, boy, how she starts the conversation.
Sets it up.
I've been thinking...
Okay, give me more.
I've been thinking, you know, I love you because you've always been there for me. You've been my rock, but I really needed you to be there for me. I really needed you to show up when came time to talk about our goals as a couple. And when it came to our goals as a couple, you let me down. You didn't show up with your side of the money. You said you were going to do this. You said you were going to do that. And I haven't seen that. And this is the first time you've let me down, and unfortunately, it's in an area that really matters to me because it's not just about you or me, it's about us.
Wow.
Is that all right?
Oh, it's good. It's good.
All right?
I think it's going to get his attention. Well done. Whew. Poor guy. But he's going to have to stand up at some point.
Why Refi refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Sean joins us in Irvine, California. Sean, how can we help you today?
Hi, guys. How you doing?
You're doing well.
Doing great.
Good. So I just had a quick question. So I currently, you know, I'm not in debt really that much, really, just from school and a surgery that I had, but it doesn't even amount to like $20,000, which is totally manageable. But on the other hand, I have about 7 credit cards, with very little balance. If anything, they're just my remedial, they're paying for like Netflix, you know, like stuff like that, on payment plans every month for that kind of stuff. However, it does amount to over $100,000 of open credit. Now, with that much,
are you trying to impress us, Sean? Because it's not working so far.
No. It's scary.
Okay.
Because I'm going to buy a house soon.
Why?
And what was that?
Why?
Because our rent is just going out of control that I'm paying right now.
Okay.
And it's almost amounting to a new house payment, a mortgage. If I just paid like $1,000 more, I'd be in a mortgage.
How much do you make?
So I make about $90,000 a year.
Okay.
Are you married?
No.
No. Okay.
You kept saying our rent.
Oh, sorry?
You kept saying our rent is going up. Who's the our? Is there someone else in the picture?
Oh, a roommates.
Got it. How old are you?
So I'm 31.
Oh, I thought you were younger the way you were talking. Okay. You're just too.
So insulting,
no, I meant
George.
it. I meant it in a good way. I meant it in a good way, Sean. You have a very young, energetic voice. So you're 31. You want to buy a house for Sean.
Yeah.
Okay. Which will somehow save you money?
Well, yeah, because I have like $170,000 saved up for this.
Why are you hanging on to debt when you have $170,000 sitting there?
No, I don't. So the hospital bill is interest free. So if I'm not paying interest on it, I figured not to.
So what do you owe in medical bills?
Well, I want to know from Sean, what are you calling us for? What's your number one question? Should you buy a house? Is that the number one thing that you want to know?
What's lenders, like seeing how much credit cards I have? Is there a problem with that they see me having so many credit cards? Do I need to close some? I don't want to close any because it hurts. I know it hurts your credit score.
Okay.
But
so Sean, you called a kind of a different show. Just so our advice is going to be probably opposite of what you usually hear, because we are not fans of credit cards. We're not even fans of a credit score. We're not fans of keeping around debt. We want debt in that entire game that everyone plays out of your life 100% forever, ever, amen. And that Sean's $90,000 that he makes is all his. There's no game to play. Wow. He has cash in the bank that's saved in a high-yield savings account for an emergency fund. He has a good down payment. He's funding retirement, and he's doing things that are good for Sean. This whole game that you're playing is normal. It's what most people do. But here at Ramsey, it is a completely different mindset, to the point that we would say close all of your credit cards, pay everything off, get a debit card, pay for Netflix with a debit card, and your credit score will lower because it is all mathematically calculated by debt. There's about seven layers of your credit score, and it all has to do with debt. So when you stop going into debt, when you start paying off debt and eliminating debt, that score inevitably will go down to the point in about 12 months after paying off all your debt, it will be undetermined. It goes to a place that they can't determine your credit score because you haven't had debt in over a year. So then you'll do a process called manual underwriting, where they will actually underwrite you a mortgage. But that's after you're debt free with a fully funded emergency fund and at least 5% down for that mortgage, because for so many people, the thought is, well, if I just had a house, because yes, like you said, in some people, their rent is even more expensive than what a mortgage would be, right? I mean, it is insane what people are paying for rent. So I totally hear you. But when you own a home, it's very expensive. When things go out, there's not a landlord to be there. There's not roommates there to split up the rent, right? I mean, it becomes a very expensive process, and it's a great thing. Home ownership should be part of your financial picture. That's a part of building wealth, but we want you to do it in the right way.
So, okay, so
we're so opposite of everything.
Against credit cards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So let's just say, I have a business of my own and I wanted to expand and use credit for myself. Without credit cards, how do you get expansion and trust from lenders?
Why do you want more credit and more lenders? You just told me you were frightened by a $100,000 line of credit.
Well, no. But let's just say, okay, so let's say I need to get something for my business, right? Some huge purchase that's going to help me make money in the long run.
Okay, so you can save up and pay cash.
So
move at the speed of cash.
If I pay that cash, though,
yes,
am I essentially draining my savings and all my?
No, what's draining your savings is making payments to 14 different lenders. You're going to spend the money anyways. We're just telling you do it up front when you have the money so you don't make stupid decisions that Sean regrets.
There's no risk. And that's the other thing, is you add on so much risk, especially in a business. We actually have a business conference going on right now with small business owners from all over the country. And it's amazing, especially in small business, that people out-leverage themselves. And when something doesn't work, the amount of stress that is caused on that, it never ends up good. And so
we teach them to run their business completely debt-free. And so even for this company, Sean, we have 1,000 team members, and we only have business debit cards. We don't have a single dime of debt on this place. It's a $300 million paid-for building, and we moved at the speed of cash. Dave's been doing this for 30 years. This building just opened 4 years ago. And so it's a slower pace. You're wanting to move very quickly, and there's a lot of podcasts and shows that will help you do that by leveraging debt. We just happen to swim upstream and go countercultural.
Yeah, and too, Sean, part of this you have to understand is that debt, there's a weight that you carry with debt, and everyone does. And now in our culture today, it's so normal that people get used to what they carry around. But there is a freedom that is caused when you don't owe anyone anything. And that autonomy is what's missing in our culture today. And that autonomy of being able to make your own choices, being able to have options, because no bank is in your life. There's nobody that you are financially attached to. You have complete autonomy. And there's power in that, to be able to use your income to build wealth on the mathematical financial side. But there's an emotional, spiritual side of money too that a lot of people don't talk about. And there's a freedom that comes when there is no payments. You're not owed by anyone. You make different decisions in life when you don't have that risk.
I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah. Okay. I want you to hold on the line, Sean, because Emily's going to pick up. I would love to give you Total Money Makeover. It's the best-selling book that we have here at Ramsey, written by Dave. And it'll walk you through the 7 baby steps. It's a quick read, very easy. And this it'll give you an overall picture of it. And I hope you're enlightened by it, Sean. I love that you called, because
call us back after you read it. I want to hear your paradigm
we've helped
shift.
Millions of people build wealth and get control of their money. It's just a totally different way than the world does it. So
yeah,
I'm glad you found this, though.
And I personally done manual underwriting, Sean, without a credit score after I cut up my cards. And between Rachel and I, we have 0 credit cards. That's what it amounts to. And our wallets are lighter and our souls are lighter for it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Tanis is with us in Canada. Hi, Tanis. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so I am kind of on baby step number 1. I've been also, I thought I was on 2, but it turns out I'm back on 1. So I had some money put away, and my savings were okay. And so I made a lump sum payment on my student loans, which was great. But now, after a couple things happened, now I'm kind of back at square one, but I just feel like every paycheck I'm reaching more into my emergency fund, because it's like I'm always behind. In each paycheck, I'm catching up from something I missed the previous 2 weeks, and I can't get ahead.
What's causing you to be in the hole right now? Which expenses is it?
My student loan payments are killer.
So what's your income?
It kind of varies. So I'm on salary for the first time in my life too, which is very different for me. So salary is $3,000 a month, and then I might make another $1,000 with just the extra work that I've been doing. But that varies again, so it just depends on kind of what's available.
And then what's your minimum payments on all of your debts?
My minimum payments for my student loans is $650 a month. And then I have a $200 car insurance payment. My rent is $800. And then I'm trying to think, I have tenant insurance. That's only $50 a month, but the small things are really adding up too.
Mm. Well, the student loans alone are not draining.
How old are you?
I'm 25. I just turned 25.
Okay. All right. And, good. All right. Well, here's the thing. It sounds like, A, you just started this process, and B, it sounds like when you write down your budget that it's more like a wish or a suggestion.
Well, yeah. So what I did is I went through all my statements from the last 3 or 4 months, and I went through everything that I can't change right now, my student loan payments,
right,
my gas, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I wrote that all down as mandatory payments, and then everything else I broke up into, are they needs or are they wants? And so even when I do that on paper, it's I only have $200 to $300 in between each paycheck,
mm-hmm,
and then something comes up, if that makes sense, because I know it takes time.
Yeah, you're doing the budget wrong. Okay.
Okay.
Because you shouldn't have any money left on your budget. You should have it all. Every dollar should have a name before the month begins. So I want you to pan back and say, I got $3,000. And if you don't have $3,000, you need to get $3,000. In other words, if that $1,000 gig doesn't kick in, then you got to work an extra job and make sure you at least have $3,000. All right. Now, then I want you to write down your mandatories. You got the 800, you got the 200, you got the different mandatories, like you said, that are in there. I want you to give all of those dollars a name on that budget and decide which paycheck each one's coming out of. Yeah. Before the month begins, I want you to completely plan out how you're going to pay your bills. And that includes if you have money that is a want that's left over, then you're going to plug it in as a want. If you have money that's a need, a mandatory, you're going to plug it in as that. But if you have $3,000 come in and you have planned to spend $3,000 exactly, and you spend it exactly as you had planned, you're not going to have a crisis. Agreed?
Yeah.
But what's happening is that some friend calls and goes, let's go out for drinks.
Right.
Yeah. That's exactly.
And then I just see leftover money and think it's spendable income.
Yeah, because it's left over. And instead, if you said, I have this much allocated for social, for happy hour, I got $50 allocated for happy hour, and you did that last week, then the friend calls, you got to say no. But you don't have anything that gives you a no button. All you've got is yes buttons. And your yes buttons are blowing up the whole thing.
But I feel like I'm saying no to everything. Like I feel.
You're not.
That's why I feel.
No, you're not. You're
so
just whining.
desperate.
You're not. You're just whining. You're just whining.
That's probably fair. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not saying no to enough. That's why you're in crisis.
Right.
Are you working extra on top of your full-time job?
Yeah, like I work like 10 to 12-hour days depending on the day.
Okay.
But for the same salary? I'm saying, do you have extra jobs? Side hustles?
Yeah. So my salary, I teach group fitness classes on top of my salary job, and so
what do they
pick up
pay?
as many classes as I can.
What's that pay?
Up to $55 an hour. So
that's good.
It just depends on how many people show up, and it takes time for people to come to your classes more. And I have been getting more. So
you get $55 an hour.
Yeah, if the class is full right now, I'm averaging 45.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It just depends how many classes are available. Yeah, so
because you're not making that. You're not making that at your day job.
No, that's I don't know if I should quit my day job.
No. You need the money right now. We don't need to quit anything. We need to do more. But it sounds to me like what I would do is try to do 40 hours worth of fitness work.
Right.
You'll be tired, but you'll be fit.
Yeah.
And you won't have been going out drinking. You will have been getting fit and making $45 an hour, and you would have cleaned up this mess.
Right.
What's your total debt?
$60,000 in student loans purely. I don't have any credit cards, and I don't have a car payment or anything.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Okay, we're going to ship you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, and show you exactly how to do this. What I have figured out is the madder I get about my situation, the more extreme I get about fixing my situation. And you're just beginning to get angry. But I just want to turn your anger up a little bit. That's kind of why I was poking at you a little bit. I want to get you mad. Even if you're mad at me, that's okay. Because I'll just be your coach. I'll be your friend that loves you enough to take the blows, okay? So I want you to go win, girl. And you're smart. We're talking to you for a few minutes. You're not dumb. You haven't got any problem. But your issue is focus. And this extreme focus that comes from an extreme sacrifice that comes from a healthy level of anger is really what the recipe is. It is a bit like fitness stuff. You tell people to do stuff. There's ones that kind of care and kind of don't care. But the ones that have to lose weight or the doctor says they're going to die, they figure out a way to lose the weight. The ones that go, my pants are just tight. They don't lose weight. That's not enough. Vanity is not enough to get you to do it.
Need a bigger why.
You got to get fired up about whatever it is, whatever behavior you're doing that changes everything. And you're getting there, but you're just starting this journey. I've got real hope for you. I think a month from now, you're going to be a beast.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was getting out of debt, Dave, when I started here and I was doing Uber. I had the Nielsen People Meter to make another $20 a month. I was eating lean cuisines, waiting for them to go 5 for $10 on sale.
Ooh, that's gross.
But it was worth it. And I will never eat a lean cuisine again, Dave.
Amen. Amen. You got to have something you'd never eat again because you had to eat it when you were broke. Broke people food.
Find that food.
Yeah, ramen noodles, tuna fish for me. I hate tuna fish. Yeah, hang on. We'll send you a copy of that book, kiddo. You call us anytime we can help. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I've never heard this situation on your show. I've been listening to your show for a long time, but is there ever a point when you don't worry about
little bills. And so my husband is a portfolio manager, and he manages about $500 million. So money is his business. That's what he knows. When he comes home, this will sound like a joke, but it's not. When he comes home, he will start turning off all the lights. If the TV's on and I'm not in the room, he's turning off the TV. I've been banned from buying avocados because one went bad once. And he said, I never want to see an avocado in this house again. But he's not like that with everything. But it's just over the top. At night, he'll turn the heat down to 65, and it's freezing, and my nose is cold, and I can almost see my breath. And is that normal?
It's normal to have thermostat wars in every marriage. The other part's not normal.
No, Marie. No.
It's
Are you guys
in some
like financially? Where are you guys at?
Oh, he has $1 million.
Half our house was bought for in cash. Our cars are bought. They're paid in cash. They're not used cars. I just got a brand new, up to me, a 22 Subaru.
Marie, how did he grow up? What was his family of origin with money?
Well, it's funny because his father grew up with a lot of money, and they had a house staff, but his mother was very frugal, and you would never know that they ever had anything. They were just.
How old is your husband?
My husband is 64 and I'm 62.
He's too old. He's too old to still be making his mom happy.
Well, his mom passed.
You missed my point.
Oh.
A good little boy turns off all the lights and the TV and doesn't buy wasteful avocados. And he's 64 and he's still living up to her freakish savings techniques.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how to help him. I don't know what to do.
This is not a money issue. This is an emotional and spiritual issue. He's trying to control his environment.
Okay.
And I know I do it too. We all want to control the things we can control. That's called being a grown-up. But he's doing it to the damage of his relationship, and he's doing it to the level that it's outside the norm of reasonable behavior. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, you're sweet and kind, but you're going to reach the end of this, and there's going to be an avocado explosion in your house.
Well, when I bought one last week, and I was stressed.
Yeah.
I have to eat this before he sees it.
Yeah. And here's the deal. I mean, here's the deal. In Texas, you own half of the assets.
Yeah.
So that includes avocados. You have no reason to be stressed. But so this is a control issue, and he's not a mean person.
No,
he's not trying to be mean to you.
No, it's just the scarcity mentality to the nth degree.
He's completely operates on the glass is half empty.
And it's complete fear.
Well, he's still trying to please his mother.
Of whatever it is, though. There's the motivation in it is very fascinating. And that's the root I'd want to get to with him. Because, Marie, he's not living in freedom at all. Could you imagine being him? Could you imagine walking into a room and for decades feeling this responsibility to turn off every light, or God forbid, something goes bad in the fridge? You know what I mean?
What if he was in a situation where he couldn't because it wasn't legal for him to turn off other people's lights? You know what I mean? He's freaking out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's got to be distressing.
Yes.
So anyway, this is him.
And this is an interesting concept. When we talk from a spiritual element, Marie, Scripture is very clear that money, it can be an idol so easily. And a lot of people see money as an idol when it comes to us worshiping stuff and nice cars. But this is idolatry in a sense. He has become obsessed with it to the point that his actions
You're a multi-millionaire.
are not making sense. And so there is a big component here for him.
Yeah. So I honestly, I think as his wife, you just sit down and say, honey, number one, I'm not living like this anymore. You're making my life miserable. You're weird. Number two,
I do tell him that.
I know. Number two, I think we need to sit down with a marriage counselor and someone who can talk to you about your obsession with these minor little things that don't even affect our lives. You're freakish and you're driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And I love you.
Yeah.
But he needs help.
You're not mean, but you need to talk to somebody about this, and or you just need to stop it, your choice. But I think you probably ought to sit down and figure out why it is you're doing this. We're multimillionaires. I can afford a freaking avocado. I can throw avocados at the dog as a ball if I want, and we're not going to go broke. You're fine. I can buy all the avocados and dance in them in the front yard, and we're not going to go broke. It's really ridiculous, the numbers on this. And so, and Sharon and I have had to do this together as we've gone from broke when we got married to making a lot of money to going broke to starting over after the scars of going broke. And, we have to sit down and say, okay, we can enjoy this amount of money. We can give this amount of money. We have to almost like say it out loud. Like if we give $100,000 to this charity, this ministry, our life doesn't change. It's okay.
And Marie, what's interesting?
We're okay.
Yeah.
We can buy an avocado.
And in
it's
this,
okay.
And in this scenario, because when it happens relationally in a marriage too, I think the hard thing for you is, and something I feel like we've all learned through life, you can't change people. Like you are not going to be able to say the right thing to him where the light goes on and or no, the light will go off, I guess, for tell me once the light's off. But it's just the idea of like, you're not going to fix him. He has to have the ability. That was good. He has to have the ability to change himself, okay? But you, Marie, can't function in this codependence of trying to make him happy. You will never make him happy. You will never
be frugal enough.
Yeah, so you need.
I won't. I won't.
Yeah.
So Marie,
live in a cave, collect lint, only come out on triple coupon Thursday.
So, Marie, you need freedom in yourself and in your marriage for you, because regardless of how he changes, you have to break that codependence that I'm nervous about the avocado. You have to let that go, because that's you. That's what you can control. So your part. You can't control if he's going to change or not. But for you, live in reality, Marie. And if it pisses him off, it pisses him off.
Here's the thing:
it's not reality.
He's not a mean person. He doesn't see this as anger, does he?
No, he doesn't.
He's a kind man,
but he's just controlling.
He's very controlling. Yeah, because he's a lot. There's a lot of fear.
Yes.
Yeah, he's very generous with other things. With a lot of things, he's very generous. We have a great life. It's wonderful.
It's just these habits from this
these
standpoint.
Just no lights or avocados.
Little things. and if I go to Sonic and it's not happy hour, I get an earful, because why didn't I wait 30 minutes?
That's his problem.
And get my Route 44.
Cherry limeade.
Talk to the hand. Talk to the limeade.
Yep.
Limeade will talk to you about this. I'm not talking to you about this. You're weird.
And be like, here's all the complaints for the next 6 months. That what your complaints are going to add up to is this $100 bill. So just take it, and I don't want to hear complaining. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But that's basically what it adds up to.
Yeah, there's okay.
Sorry,
I honestly sometimes sitting down with a good counselor, 2 sessions even, they'll be able to hold up a mirror back to him, and he'll see himself. Mm-hmm. And when he does, he'll be a little bit horrified, because this is not a bad person. You know, I really don't believe he's mean. I really don't. I really don't think he's angry at you and earful, but that's just fear-based. And so, but I think, I would invest in 2 marriage counseling sessions and, bring this up, and y'all talk it through and see what the counselor looks at him and goes, dude, you're weird.
That counselor's going to pull a string, and he may be in there for 6 months. You know
what the counselor's going to do? What Deloney says. He's going to turn on all the lights.
Oh my gosh.
You can't make this up. This is The Ramsey Show. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Matthew is in Chicago. Hey, Matthew, how are you?
Hi, Dave. How's it going? I appreciate you taking this call today.
Sure. What's up?
So I recently graduated college. I'm 22, and I got married last summer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I find myself overwhelmed with student loan debt. I racked up in about 3 years at a private college. I racked up $198,000 in student loan debt with an average interest rate of 9 to 14%.
Good Lord.
Sheesh.
Yes.
What else?
And I have about $5,000 in credit card debt. My wife, we went to college together, and she graduated debt free. So it's
Good.
only me with the debt.
Okay. What are you guys earning?
What was that again? Sorry.
What do you
What do you earn?
What's your incomes?
Monthly income is approximately $3,500 a month.
$3,500 a month.
Okay.
That's correct.
And
each, you and your wife, or?
No, that's combined.
So, are you both working full time?
Yes.
What'd you
she
get your
works
degree
the US
in
government.
for $200,000? It doesn't
I know,
pay you
right?
minimum
Well,
wage.
You're not going to like this, but it was aviation. I'm a pilot.
Okay. Why aren't you? Are you working?
Yes, I'm working full time, and I make $45 to $50 an hour, but it's dependent on three factors: students who want to fly, weather, and aircraft maintenance.
So you're teaching? Are you?
Yes.
You're not flying commercially, or?
No, I have a conditional job contract offer signed, and hopefully we'll be starting at the end of this year, starting at $84,000 a year.
Okay.
But
Good.
I have to work up to my hours to get that job.
Okay. And is there anything else that you can do to supplement your income in the meantime while you're working up to that?
Not much. I could possibly get a part-time job. That's one thing I've considered multiple times. I'm currently at my job. I'm
What does
going
your
in
wife
extra
do?
hours to do. She does Army contracting. She works for the U.S. government.
And she makes what?
She started at 49, and then she'll go up 59 this summer, and then next summer she'll go up to 69,000.
Okay, that's not $3,500 a month. You've misadded somewhere. So it sounds like you're making about $40,000 a year, going towards 85 in the fall, and she's making about 40, heading towards 60 in the summer. Okay, so you guys probably have a household income of more like 80,000, not 3,500 a month, which is 40,000. And maybe your take home, you may have too much being withheld. I don't know, but basically what it amounts to is your careers. You came out of the gate with your degrees with a slow start, income wise. Okay, but 1 year from today, it sounds like both of you will be further mature in your careers income wise, and it sounds like your incomes are going to be, you should be bumping up 150 by the end of this year.
Right.
60 and 80 is 140. That's the end of the year. Okay?
Yeah, that's ideal. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that would be what she'd be making 59 in the summer, and you're going to be making 84 in the fall. So that's the way that adds up. So yeah. So right now it's tight. And James, what's the name of our refi company?
Y Refi.
Y with like the letter Y. Like you, like yours.
Letter Y,
the letter
R-E-F.
Y.
Yes.
And Refi. You need to look those guys up. They are the best in the business at private student loan refinance, and they probably can get your rates down.
Yeah, because 14% is not ideal.
Yeah, you got hammered with that, and that's aviation school that got you, not standard student loans. So,
and then from there, the formula is like everybody else.
Live on less than you make and tear into it. But I think my point is, Matthew, that you're going to be not making a ton of progress between now and June. From June to January, you're going to make a lot more progress, and the following and every time thereafter. Okay? So what I want you both to do is to work all you can work. And if you're on the ground because of broken aircraft or weather, I want you doing something else.
That's right.
Go make some money. Go deliver pizzas or DoorDash or drive Uber. I don't care what you do. Go make some money. You need to be working all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
You have made an unadulterated $200,000 mess, and you have got to focus on it and attack it with a like a zealot, like you've joined, like I'm crazy.
That's right. You got to get crazy about it. But the good news is once you guys really get into it, they're going to be average. They're going to be that person who pays off their debt in around 2 years, 2.5 years, and on to the next thing.
Yeah, if it takes you $200,000, if you put $100,000 a year towards it, it's done in
That's
2
right.
years.
That's right.
You may not quite make that, depending on how these incomes stack out and what when they start flowing, but that would be starting 1 year from now.
That's
and
true.
Whatever you do from now until then, you'll make progress on. So, you probably have from today over 2 years worth of work to do.
maybe approaching 3. But you'll be out in that if you lean into it and don't go buy a bunch of stuff and keep everything down, and just keep your rent down, rent the cheapest possible thing. Yeah. Don't go on vacation. Don't eat out. You have a mess to clean up. And there's no, when you're 22 years old, you got the energy. Go do it.
That's right.
Go, and don't wait till you're 32. Don't keep this around like it's a freaking pet.
Yeah.
Get after it. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Let's go out to Terrence in Cleveland, Ohio. What's up, Terrence?
How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
I've been better. Hanging in there.
Oh, man. What's up?
So I'm currently faced with the idea of filing bankruptcy. I currently have about $70,000 in debt. I make about $20,000 a year. I've been working for about a year now. I was in a nursing home for a year before that. And as of now, I just had a recent bad incident. My car was stolen back in August. And with the repairs, I've defaulted on my car note. I actually got 2 months deferred already, and now I have to pay a large deductible to get it from the mechanic. And I'm still, faced with the car payments, which is more than half of my monthly income right now. And I've been considering filing Chapter 7 to remove a lot of my debts and try to start over, because it's to the point where I'm not able to save anything at the end of the month.
Yeah. Terrence, can I ask you, what are you doing for a job right now?
I'm a custodian.
Okay. And did I hear you right? You're making about $20,000?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said did I hear you say you were in a nursing home?
I was, yes.
Okay. Do you have any physical limitations right now that would keep you from doing any other type of work than being a custodian?
Well, I have heart disease, minor neurological deficiencies. Like, my endurance is very low.
Okay.
So I have to expend my energy twice as much to do normal functions.
Is the custodial job, I don't want to assume, but is it a physical job, obviously on your feet a lot and doing a lot of physical labor?
I mean, yeah, but I work at my own pace. I got employed through this organization called Vocational Guidance, and it's pretty much geared towards disabled persons like myself.
Okay. Another couple quick questions here. How much do you owe to get that car from the mechanic? What would be the fee you got to pay to get it back?
$1,000.
$1,000. And what would you say the car is worth versus what you owe on it?
It's worth about $20,000, and I owe $35,000.
I'm sorry, you broke up. You owe what?
I owe $35,000, and the car is only worth about $20,000.
Okay. All right. The reason I went that direction, John, and Terrence, the reason I'm asking you about what you're doing and what your physical limitations are, is because even though you have limitations, and I know you went through an organization that's trying to help you out, man, I'm willing to stake my entire name and reputation on the fact that you should be making, and you can be making, way more than $20,000, which would help us in this financial situation. To come up with $1,000 to get the car, then we could sell the car, get a smaller loan. It's the only time we recommend loans, maybe from a credit union, and to pay off the rest of the loan and then start fresh. But one of the things we've got to do is get you into a place where you can make more income but not have all the physical exertion, because you do have some physical limitations. And I want to try to help you on that. We may not be able to solve it all on this call, but I at least want to put that out to you so that you have a mindset that you don't have to look at Chapter 7 to get out of this mess. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I know you feel like that's the only option you have left. How does that hit you? How do you push back if there's some pushback, something that John and I don't know?
It's been very depressing, dealing with it all. And I never even considered filing bankruptcy ever in my life.
Sure.
So, Terrence, filing for bankruptcy, if we look at the data, has a lot of external consequences besides money. And you're feeling it right now. right? It feels like it's going to be this big freedom and this big release, and there is a release to it, but man, what it does to your psyche, what it does to your ability to navigate certain things moving forward, it's just such a burden. It's very similar to divorce. I'll never recommend somebody get divorced. That's a decision someone's got to make on their own. And I don't ever recommend that somebody file for bankruptcy, simply because I know the downstream consequences are so heavy. Sometimes it's your only option. Dave's talked about it. He did it. And he is probably one of the last in lines to say, hey, he went and developed a plan so that nobody ever has to go through that, right? I've spent my career up until I joined Ramsey Solutions working with people with learning exceptionalities and with special needs. Does this agency place you in a place where they said this is all you can do? Because right now, when I look at the wages, even at minimum wage places, are paying double minimum wage in certain places. They're paying a lot more than $20,000 a year to work fast food right now, or to drive Uber. And I'm trying to think of a couple of places that you could work and then get another job driving around where you could just listen to music or listen to podcasts or talk on the phone. And if you have those days where you're just worn out, you can stay at home. You don't have to work that shift if it's Uber or if it's Uber Eats or if it's one of those, Lyft or anything like that. My question for you is this. Instead of just saying all I'm ever going to do is be able to do $20,000 a year, do you have a mentor or a friend or someone who will walk alongside you that's outside of the agency that you trust, that you said, hey, I got to make more money and I need your help looking at jobs, applying for jobs, going to interview with jobs? Would you be willing to walk alongside? Is there somebody else that would help you with that, or is the agency all you got?
Not at the moment. They're literally all I have right now. I haven't even considered, trying to find other people of that caliber to talk to.
Okay.
Well, Terrence, I want to challenge you on something because John and I know you can get out of this.
I know you can.
And we want you to borrow our belief. If you just got John and I today, I'm telling you, Terrence, yes, you have the physical limitations, but John is right. We're talking Walmart and Target, late shift,
McDonald's,
something like that. You can make as much as $18, $20, $22 an hour. Not only that, Kroger just announced, I don't know if you had, but I'm giving you ideas to where you go, wait a second, the world is much bigger than this agency just placing me somewhere where they have a relationship, because more money changes your life dramatically. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
I mean, I want you just for a second to imagine making $20 an hour. How would that change your life?
I wouldn't worry so much.
Come on, man. You'd be able to get that car out of the mechanic pretty quick. And John's right. I mean, that what people are paying. Listen, and can I tell you this? I want to paint a bigger picture. Walmart, Target, just two big companies. They are also giving tuition reimbursement to where not only you work and make more money, you could take the next chapter in your life and get qualified for something and they're going to reimburse you. So you got to know there are more possibilities for you, and you can get the car out of the mechanic and you can pay the debt off. You can walk through this, and we're going to walk through this with you. Let's give you Financial Peace University. We're going to gift you a full year of that, and I want to give you the book, Dave's book. He sold 6 million copies, something like that, and counting. Total Money Makeover. If I give that to you, will you promise to read it?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe, Terrence, that you can come out of this?
I mean, yeah,
let me take one step.
Believe in myself.
Let me take one step below what Ken's saying. You've been told you're less than, haven't you?
I have, ever since I got sick and suffered a traumatic brain injury and all of that stuff. Yeah,
that's right. You've been told.
Has been very shocked.
You've been told you're broken. You've been told you're less than. You've been told you go over there. And Ken and I are both calling bullcrap on that. We believe in you more than you do. And I want you to believe in yourself as much as Ken and I do. Stay on the line. We're going to get you these tools in hand. And man, trust us. There is light on the other side of this thing. Yeah. We're Terrence, so proud of you, brother.
Somebody needs you to show up and be the best version of Terrence that the world has ever seen. That's where we want you to get to.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I have been in a relationship for about 10 years, and I am very much secure in my assets, and my boyfriend is not. And I wanted to know if there's anything that I could do to avoid or to protect my assets from what could possibly be common law marriage.
Well, okay. So when you say could be possibly, Rachel and I are not common law marriage experts. We certainly don't know the law in Montana. So what do you know? Because it sounds like you're uncertain.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a 7. He's not living with me right now. We were talking about it, but I think there's a 7-year living together.
And you guys have been sharing a residence for 7+ years.
No. We have not as of yet, and I don't want to get there. I don't want to be put in the position that it becomes a common law marriage.
Okay.
What's
up with the relationship?
Yeah,
Christy?
that's what I want to know.
What are you guys doing? Why don't you get married? Do you love him?
We've both been married. We're older.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Why aren't we married? Because we didn't see we live in different cities, and we didn't see a reason to. Like, we've had kids, we've done the whole thing.
You still live in separate cities?
Yep.
How far away?
It's great. You should try it.
Okay. Wow. That's a little awkward. I'm very happily married. I'm rolling into 27 years, and this is going to freak you out, Christy. I sleep in the same bed as Stacy. It's wonderful. You should try that.
Fine.
Now, I will tell you, mouth tape has really helped. It's helped. I use the mouth tape now, Rachel. I haven't told
You're
you
like
this.
An old man. That's an old man move.
It's a
But
great marriage move.
It's a great move.
Stacy's happy about it. Okay, so how far apart do you all live?
A couple hours.
Okay, so
how often do you get together?
Why are you worried about the common law marriage if you guys aren't living together?
Yeah.
Because we're now looking so now my daughter's in college, so we're now looking to what does the future look like.
How old are you guys?
I'm 56.
Okay, you're not too old.
Okay, so according to what I'm seeing here, a common law marriage in Montana is recognized if the parties are competent to marry. I don't know if you're competent to marry.
Christy,
after that little comment you made, mutually agree to Hold on.
Christy.
I don't know, Christy. You're a little saucy today, and I can be saucy back. You have to mutually agree to the marital relationship and then cohabit. Well, you guys aren't cohabiting.
For how long? Does it give a time frame?
What?
Does it give a time frame at all?
No, it just says cohabit. We know what cohabiting is.
Well, I know, but usually there's a time frame with common law marriage if you have been together for 12 years or whatever.
It doesn't say. But again, have you guys ever lived in the same house?
Well, for what period of time?
Just answer the question.
Yes, we have.
How long?
A couple weeks.
That's not a common law marriage. I might as well have a judge's
She's
robot.
going to, though. She's going to. You won't listen.
You're going to have to do it for a long period of time on that deal. I'm not sure we can answer your question because I don't think you guys actually.
The definition of it's not going to happen unless you guys are together for living together for a longer period of time.
And I, in this case, would say common law marriage, I don't think, under our Ramsey way of thinking, I don't think I'd combine finances. I think you keep your assets separately. Your question was, how do I protect my assets? I don't think you guys are combining them because I don't think this is a real marriage. I think you guys get together for conjugal visits, if I can be very blunt. That's what I think this is.
It's more than that. You don't do as long as we've been doing for conjugal visits.
I'm just saying. You live
together for
2
10
hours
years,
apart.
For 10 years.
How often do you guys see each other in a year?
We see each other every weekend.
My point exactly.
Okay.
I'm just saying, this isn't a marriage.
Christy,
I'm not judging her.
Sorry you called today.
I'm not judging you. I swear I'm not judging you.
Okay, Christy, our advice would be you are
keep
56.
the assets separate.
You still have a good, 30, 35 years together. You could have a longer marriage than what Ken has today from when he married Stacy.
That's not a marriage.
No, what they could have if they got married.
They're not going to.
But that's what I'm telling her. She called our show.
She doesn't want to get
advice
married.
is that I would get married.
Oh, okay.
And
I see
you
what you're saying.
have another 35 great years. Maybe my papa's 96, so that's what 45.
Oh, I love your sweet papa.
You got a long way to go, Christy, and so all of this would be summed up if you're like, yeah, we want to be in a committed. If not, then don't have a permanent residence together, and the common law marriage isn't even an issue.
And keep assets separate.
And
you
keep
agree.
assets separate. Yeah,
that was my.
But
whole
I think
point.
some people will go to court if they break up. Though I think that it can feel like a marriage where it's 50-50 regardless of. I don't know. Anyways.
Christy, now after all of that, and I tried to answer your question honestly, I'm having fun with you, but I'm dead serious. Everything I said, I completely stand behind. No judgment, by the way. Zero judgment. You do what you want to with your life. I'm a libertarian on that deal. All right. What I am saying is that I would keep the assets separately because I don't think you guys actually want to even do the common law marriage. Am I missing that, or is that what you're saying you're thinking about doing?
So if we're thinking about marriage, possibly, we're thinking about moving in together. We're thinking about a lot of different options, but...
Well, if you move in together, I agree with Rachel. You should get married. The statistics are absolutely undeniable that it is better for you. And Rachel's right. You're going to have a greater quality of life.
Now, if you don't love him and he's not marriage material, then I wouldn't be living with him anyways. What?
Yeah. I wouldn't be having this conversation if that wasn't the case.
Yeah, it's right. Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. If you love this guy so much,
hesitant in this?
Because here's why. I'll tell you why I'm hesitant, and I'm on your team. He didn't call, so underneath this snappy sweater here, I've got a Team Christie shirt on. Okay, so I'm cheering for you. I mean this. Okay, here's what I'm telling you.
You're better off financially, Christy.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is, if you were my sister, Christy, I'd be like, sis, what are you doing? You don't love this guy that much. If you did, you couldn't stand to be away from him. My wife left town last week with my daughter for a trip with her sister, and they were gone for 4 nights. I really, truly missed my wife. I could not do what you're doing. So maybe, and I'm honest about this, maybe it's just me, but I don't see enough evidence that you really want to commit to this guy and truly marry this guy based on one of the first comments you said. You were like, well, I said why? And you went, well, we're just older now. And I think you've rationalized it. And I also don't think that I think you can live without this guy. And this is not my opinion. You see this guy once a week and you live a couple hours away. That ain't leaving Cleve, in my opinion. Now, I'm old school and I don't mind when you push back on me. But Christy, that's why I'm a little bit cynical. I think if you would have said, you know what, we've done it this way for a long time, but now I can't live without him, and I want us to have our life completely intertwined, for better or for worse, rich or poor, bad Tuesday night, great Thursday morning, whatever. I don't hear that from you. So therefore, I don't want you to do it.
Is there any fact, Christy, that there's a level of you that you've handled money well, you're successful, and he hasn't? That's a little bit of a deterrent?
That's a huge deterrent.
Oh, you buried the lead.
There we go.
That would have been nice to know 5 minutes ago.
Man.
I definitely stand by what I think. Do not move in with this dude.
Yeah, don't move in.
Do not marry this dude until you guys are on the same page.
Yes, don't marry him unless you're on the same page, and don't combine your finances. Keep them separate.
What are we doing on the weekends, Christy? What are you doing? This guy's not like values. I stand by what I said. I wasn't trying to be salty.
I like Christy.
But there's a guy in the lobby that agrees with me. This is adult conjugal visits. We're playing house. I got head shaking all throughout the lobby. I stand by what I say, Rachel.
Stand firm, Ken. Stand firm.
Oh, it's tough being a Puritan.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I'm struggling. Well, not really struggling, but after all expenses and everything that's a necessities paid, I have about $1,900, $2,000 left a month, and I just don't know where it's going. It seems like I just spend it. Like
so on paper, if you did what the paper said on what you spent, you'd have $2,000. But you're saying it's disappearing; it's being spent.
Yes.
Do you want to know what this is? This is a classic case. You do what is called the treat yourself budget, which is I budget for all of the things that are like necessities. Like I budget for my rent, my car payment, my groceries, a couple of, my cell phone bill, but everything else is up for grabs and you treat yourself. And then next thing you know, you're like, where did the money go? So does that sound about right?
Yeah, that does sound about right.
Yeah. Like if you go to your bank account statement will tell you, right? If you go to your bank account statement and you add up all the things that weren't the necessary expenses, it would easily tell you what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say are the top 3 things this money's disappearing to? Eating out? Are you sports betting?
Not really.
Gas station snacks?
Definitely gas station.
Okay, I just guessed
a little
all three
here,
perfectly.
a little there. What you know? What I find that gas station snacks is a big thing. Like that seems to be a high ticket item here. I don't know what it is, but
I don't go in there. I'm too nervous.
I don't go in the gas station to get food. There's two things that just shouldn't go together. I don't know, but anyway.
Do you have any other vices?
Not judging you.
Are you like dip something that you're spending vapes? I don't know.
No, I mean I buy truck parts and different things. I mean I dabble here and there spending.
You single?
I buy usually. No, I got a girlfriend.
Oh, well, that might be where some of it's going, I would think. Here's what I think you need to do. Okay, so I used to budget just like that. I was definitely the treat yourself budgeter who wanted to use the rest on, like, it's up for grabs. That's the way I felt about it.
You ate your vegetables. All right, you can get some dessert.
But the truth is, when you treat your money like that, you'll look up 10 years from now and there's a lot of regret because you go, oh my gosh, so much money passed through my hands and I was not a good steward of it. As a matter of fact, for most people, think about it. If during your working years, most people work 40 years, let's say you just make an average of $50,000 a year. That's over $2 million that's going to pass through your hands. And if you take this portion of it and you just go, it's up for grabs, I don't know what happened to it, you can't really call yourself a good steward of your money. And chances are you won't be prepared when the time comes to retire or buy a house or any of those things that, we want to do to feel the success of our finances. So what I would suggest is a zero-based budget, which is a form of budgeting that utilizes every single penny. And I just want to kind of clear up because a lot of people feel like budgets are kind of restraining, right, Hayden? And I have a feeling that you feel that way. Like you feel like a budget is something that's going to keep you from doing the things you want to do when really it's the exact opposite. Because if you were to do a zero-based budget, you'd not only be planning for those things like rent and car payments and keeping the lights on, but you'd also go through and say, wow, I have $1,900 of margin. What is it that I want to do? Do I need to have $1,000 of savings? Do I need to build up a 3 to 6 months emergency fund? Is there debt I need to pay off? And if you've already accounted for those things, then you can say, okay, yeah, I want to spend a little bit on hunting and I want to spend a little bit on, I don't know, Wawa snacks. And so that's the beauty of this is you get to decide. So let George and I help you decide. Do you have any debt?
I have a truck payment and then a boat payment.
Okay. How much do you owe on the truck?
Around $34,000.
And how much do you owe on the boat?
Around $12,000.
Okay. So that right there is a good indicator of what you should be using that margin for.
What do you make a year?
Last year I brought in around $80,000, but this year I'm working full time and doing college, so it's dropped about 10, 15.
So you're making about $65,000?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay. Man, you got a lot tied up in wheels and motors going down in value to be making $65,000.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about selling these two items and getting something cheaper?
Well, the truck is what I use to make the money every day. I drive for work. I do like hot shot.
Can you get a cheaper truck to do this with? I don't think it's a $34,000 truck causing this.
Yeah, I probably could.
I mean, if you had a $15,000 truck that was running great, could you do the same work and get paid the same?
Yeah.
Okay. That tells me the truck was for you, and yes, you do use it for work, but you can also get a cheaper truck, get out of this debt, free up more margin, and I imagine you don't have a lot of time to be on the boat when you're working and a full-time student.
Yeah, I do plan on selling the boat this upcoming spring.
What can you get for it?
Probably around 15.
Okay.
14, 15.
Okay, so that's another maybe $2,000, $1,500 that you could put towards this debt. What George and I are getting at is, and this is what Dave Ramsey would say, your biggest wealth building tool is your income, right? And so good for you that you have $2,000 of margin every month. Bad for you that you have this debt, because what are your payments on the truck and the boat combined?
Around $1,300. I could refinance them, but I've just decided to try and pay them off.
Yeah,
quicker.
I think that's good. But think about if you had that $1,300 back in your wallet plus the $2,000. That's a lot of money. And so if we can get these things sold or paid off, that's really where you're going to see the ultimate potential with that money. And then we'd be saying things like, hey, with this margin, you could be investing 15%. And hey, you could be doing, do you see what I'm saying?
Save up a down payment.
Well, my only problem with that is like my parents, which I just turned 20, and they're more like, don't sell the truck. The insurance is going to blah, blah, blah.
They're wrong. Hey,
keep it and pay it off.
If you have a paid off vehicle, your insurance is going to be lower. If you have a used paid off vehicle, your insurance is likely going to be lower than if you had something that's newer with payments. That's the truth.
That's what I thought, but I don't know.
Are they making the $1,300 payments for you every month?
No.
They don't get a say in you getting rid of that payment because you're the one who has to pay it.
Uh-huh. Hey, the truth is with parents, like they have the best of intentions, but sometimes they only know what they know. And so a lot of times it's like they do it one way, so they pass that way on to you. And even though it's a good intention, it's not necessarily the right answer or the best way to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I think from where you're sitting, you can just be like, okay, thanks. That's when you just do the smile and nod and you're like, oh, okay. And then you go into your life and you do the thing that you know how to do in your own life.
You can be kind and respectful.
That's right.
Do you have any money in savings, Hayden?
My parents got around $30,000 for me. I had a problem with my arm and surgery, so I got
a settlement?
A settlement coming in soon.
Okay.
And that'll be in your name. You said your parents have it for you.
Yeah. No, it'll be in my name.
Okay. Man, that'll set you up for sure.
Yeah. So if George and I were in your shoes, that $30,000, I'd keep it aside. Let's call that if you're selling this boat, and if you're selling the truck or deciding to keep the truck.
That's an emergency fund plus some moving out money plus some down payment money.
Yeah.
That sets you up, man.
Yeah. I would definitely downsize this truck. I would not pay it off with what you're earning and what your life is. I'd downsize it. Yeah. This is The Ramsey Show.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
All right, let's go to Danielle in Reading, Pennsylvania. Hey, Danielle, what's up?
Hi there.
How are you?
Well, I'm a little stressed at the moment, so I'm calling to get some advice.
All right.
My adult daughter and her 2 children are living in my house, and she has always had a tendency to do things impulsively, and there's been a shortage of maturity. I will also add to some issues that we've had. And recently she has now started a new relationship, and I've seen some things that I don't like in her, and I feel like I want her to move out of my house, but I don't want it to be, you got to get out. I need maybe some guidance on how to work this out, because I want her to get out of my house.
Yeah. I just want to tell you, thank you for your spirit, and thank you for loving your baby girl. And also, this is hard, but thank you for having boundaries. And all of those feel like they're in tension with one another, and they are, but they're not all mutually exclusive. So you're heading into some choppy waters, but they're the right waters, and so good for you. So why did she come move into your house?
This is one of the impulse things. She went and kind of eloped, let's say, with someone she had been seeing for a short time. I'm going to say about 2 years or 2.5 years into it, he up and left her with her daughter and their 1-year-old at the time. And she wasn't generating enough income. And I would never let my loved ones just live in the street, so certainly come home.
Sure.
And I didn't feel like, you have 3 months, you have 6 months, and she hadn't been making money, but I will take the responsibility and say, I think that I have let it drag on too long.
There you go.
Because I've seen her not become more responsible and be taking steps to move out. She's quite comfortable, and now I feel like you're not just comfortable, but you're taking things for granted, and
you're enabling the behavior now.
Out.
There you go.
Right.
So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write her a letter, and I want you to go by yourself And it may take a couple hours. It may take a couple of days. It may take 5 drafts, 1 draft. I don't care. But just get it right. And I want you to have a couple of parts in this letter. The first one is I want you to tell her how important she is to you, how much you love her, the things that you see in her life that you are proud of her about. I want you to let her know that. And it's important that you write this down, and I'll tell you why. But then I want you to talk about, here's how I've loved you, stepped in the gap, and here's the next way I'm going to love you, which is I'm going to walk alongside you as you leave the nest. And I want you to take her out somewhere. We joke here at the office. I'm always telling people to go to breakfast. Our friend Anthony likes to have these conversations at dinner. I think better in the morning, so I like breakfast. But I want you to take her somewhere, and I want you, and it may not even be in a restaurant. It may be in a private place. But I want you to read her this letter and then hand it to her. And here's why. When people are in this situation, as soon as they start to get a hint that I'm going to be homeless, or less specific, I'm getting abandoned again, I'm getting left again, their brain shifts. Their critical thinking literally goes offline, and their fight or flight takes over. And so they start hearing things as that are not always real. When you write it down and hand it to them, she can reread it and reread it and reread it, and then eventually get to the, okay, my mom, even if I don't agree with it, in my mom's heart, she loves me, and she's trying to walk alongside me. I want you to stay on the line. I'm going to give you a copy of Total Money Makeover by Dave, and I want you to give that to her as a gift. I want you to help her make a budget. I want you to give her a ramp. Say, in 3 months, I'm gonna go with you to look at apartments. I'm gonna go with you to look at rental home, whatever that looks like. I'm gonna help you with your job. I'm gonna walk alongside you, but at this deadline is when we're moving out.
Laurie is with us in Niagara Falls. Hi, Laurie. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. Ramsey, for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My husband and I are reconciling a 25-year-old marriage, and our financial situation is a disaster. We run a family farm, and I'm coming up to nearly complete reluctance to do anything different, the insanity thing. I need something to take away to start to get together with him and make progress to reduce our debt.
Okay, I didn't understand what you meant when you said you're reconciling a 25-year marriage. What does that mean?
We've been married 25 years, and we've been separated for 2, and we're coming back together and proceeding with our marriage and our family.
Okay, and why were you separated?
We had a lot of arguing and differences in how to actually do different things to get out of debt. And it was just a very difficult, complex situation.
Yeah. And did you have someone coach you as you've worked through this reconciliation process? A counselor?
We did for a short time together, but that didn't go much more than a few months, and I've been in counseling myself privately.
Uh-huh. Okay. And your current counselor is telling you that this process you're using is going to work. It doesn't sound very healthy to me.
It is not the best, but it could be worse. I'm hopeful.
Well, a lot of things could be worse. Somebody shooting you would be worse, but there's a lot of things that are worse, but that doesn't mean that... it sounds to me like you're the only one that's working on this.
Pretty much.
Okay. I think you need to go talk to your counselor again. And I think your counselor needs to tell you the truth. That if you go back into a situation when you're the only one that has changed, nothing's going to change. Because the point is you are coming up against an immovable object, him. And if he is not going to change, that is not reconciliation. That is you acquiescing. There's a difference. You don't call that reconciliation. Reconciliation is when both parties say we both have to move to a common ground from where we are in order to go forward. And I sure hope that can happen. But, so far, everything in this conversation, and it's a very short conversation on the radio, I understand, and I'm not your counselor, but you guys, I mean, there has to be some movement on his side of this equation.
Progress has been made on a personal level, interpersonal.
Okay,
but when when it comes and overflows into the business aspect of it, this is where it's stalling out.
Yep.
I mean, being together and working together all day, every day, and then having a relationship too, it's very difficult at times to differentiate where the boundaries are between work and personal.
Gotcha.
So we have made progress in the personal area, but when it comes to the finances and the hard numbers, there's a lot of reluctance to explore new avenues of. It's a new day and age in the world with marketing and pushing.
So you work in the business still, even though you're separated.
I help. I'm on the fringes. I'm trying to mesh back in and pick up, where we left off.
Did you used to work in the business?
Yes.
Okay. Completely.
Totally.
Okay. So here's the thing: the boundaries part that you talked about. Here's a couple things you can work on there. You guys need to talk about the hats. I've got family in my business here. My kids work here. They're grown humans, but I mean, my children are just the same. And we wear hats. And the hats are, when we're at home, I'm Papa Dave to the grandbabies. When I'm at the office, I'm your freaking CEO, and you're my employee. And you can't be wifey at the office. That doesn't work. And he can't be husband at the office, because you're disrespecting the CEO of the organization, and he can't lead and he can't make decisions if you're playing wifey at the office. But can a wife work in the office? Absolutely. But if you're the marketing director, you report to your CEO. And if you're the CEO and he's the marketing director, he reports to you. I don't care which way it is, but you put those hats on at the office, because if the other team members and the customers see you all having marital disputes at the office over office stuff, that says you don't know what your role is. And family business disintegrates into a toxic cesspool. Does that sound familiar at all?
Yes.
Okay. It's a pain in the butt, isn't it? But I mean, we've had stuff like Rachel, my daughter, is one of our Ramsey personalities. You may know that, right? And Rachel is very opinionated, which makes her a great speaker and writer and so forth. You need to have an opinion. And yet she works here. Christy Wright's a Ramsey personality. When we're in a meeting with 10 of us working on the launch of Christy Wright's book, and I say something, Christy Wright does not roll her eyes. She's an employee of mine. I'm the CEO, right? But Rachel Cruz might have been known to do that once. Can you imagine? Now, if she rolled her eyes, what was she doing? She had the wrong hat on. She had the daughter hat on. Because daughters roll their eyes at their dads, not employees. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And so guess what? Rachel got thumped by one of our other executives here as soon as she did that. And she tells that story. So I'm not telling out of school on her. But that was an example of one time where one of us forgot the hat we were supposed to be wearing was not father-daughter. And I can't use my dad voice on my son in a meeting. He's one of our senior directors, and when I treat him like I do any other senior director with the same respect, and I thump him just as hard as I would one of our other senior directors if they were doing something stupid in their business unit. I treat him exactly the same, but I don't use my dad voice on my son because it brings up all this other toxic stuff. So you've really got to work on that stuff in order to be able to have the influence for him to hear you about business stuff. Now, once you've got those hats established, here's another way to approach it then. You leave the physical location of the business and you sit down over a nice meal and you say, all right, we're changing hats. Now you're not the CEO. Now you're the husband. And I'm your wife. And as your wife, I'm going to speak into the financial decisions at the business because they affect me as your wife. My wife does that and she doesn't work here at all. And so if we're doing something here that she gets nervous about or she doesn't understand, she doesn't hesitate from a wife's position to sit down with me in private and say, hey, Dave, I'm worried about that. That thing down there, I'm seeing this. I'm wondering about that. I know I'm on the outside, but as a wife wearing the wife hat, she speaks into the business. But she doesn't stroll into the office around here and go, well, you need to do this and you need to do that, and start barking at people and telling them what to do. She doesn't work here. She doesn't have the position to do that. The only influence she has is the absolute most powerful influence there is, which is through her husband, right? And so wearing the wife hat. So I think if you can establish these differences of how you act at work and how you act at home wearing different hats. Okay, I'm taking my husband hat off. I'm asking you to take your CEO hat off, and I want you to put your husband hat on. And I want you to hear from your wife, not one of your part-time employees that used to work here full-time before we split up, right? Because on that basis, you've got very little input. A part-time employee on the fringes, you said, right?
I'm working back in.
Yeah, but I know. But you're not in from a corporate standpoint, from a business standpoint. Any other employee that was looking at that was in that kind of a role does not have influence on the CEO, because part-timers don't have influence on the CEOs, and so you don't try to get at it from that angle. It's not going to work. You got to get away from the business and say part of our marital package is that we have this business, and as a wife, I want to speak into that business, not as a part-time fringe employee. And we're going to separate the two with those hats. Maybe that'll help you guys, but I think both of you need to be in coaching, counseling on a reconciliation as long as you've been married trying to put this back together. The fact that he's not attending that bothers me a lot. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
My husband and I started a business here just the end of last year, and we were making pretty good money, but it's not quite enough to make ends meet. And at this point, we've put pretty much everything we have into it, and it has the potential, but we're just trying to figure out some more ways to bring money into the business to try to increase that to make ends meet.
What kind of business?
It's an indoor baseball training facility.
Okay, and you said you've sunk everything into it. What does that mean?
Pretty much. We started completely debt-free. We pulled an SBA loan, ended up being about $325. We had a very large chunk of money in the bank when we started. Part of that was going towards our security deposit. The other we kept was about $40,000 in the bank. Now we're to the point where we have about $30,000 in credit card debts. We've used my husband's 401k, and our entire savings is put into it as well. There were some factors that came up that we weren't really expecting for, and that money ended up going towards the business. So,
was the business ever profitable to where you weren't needing to go into debt for it?
Well, I mean, we're not really behind yet on the business. I mean, the money that we spent on credit cards and stuff was actually to get the business open and started. We've brought in about $52,000 since we opened December, like mid-December. So it's making money, but I mean, our lease payment's $30,000 a month, so we're not making enough.
Yeah, you're not making money.
Dang.
What your lease payment is $30,000?
Yeah.
What is your
3,000 square feet?
What's your debt overhead? What have y'all taken out?
Well, we don't really have, I mean, the business essentially runs itself, and we don't have hardly any overhead. Like, our utility bill is about the highest we pay.
Well, your debt payments are your biggest
No, what's your
overhead.
debt payment?
You said $325 on an SBA loan?
Mm-hmm. We actually haven't started. They gave us a 6-month draw period, so we haven't actually started paying that payment yet. We've been paying the interest on it, which has been about, I think about $2,500, the last one I think come in, give or take. I'm expecting those to increase now, obviously, since we have used the funds from the loan, so that drop period closes, and then we should start seeing the first payment come through.
You don't know what the payment's going to be?
No, well, we do and we don't, because when we talk to them, basically they told us it's been a rough go with them, but basically they told us we have a 6-month drop period. We only pay interest until then. Obviously, the interest will increase every month as we're spending more, utilizing those funds from the bank.
So is this like a line of credit from the bank up to $325?
No, it was an actual
a lump
SBA
sum
loan. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what else? You said you maxed your credit cards out. How bad is that?
About 30,000. We had, two of those are personal cards, and one is a business card, but all of it went towards the business. We started with nothing on those cards.
And when did you start this business?
December the 10th.
We're talking a few months ago.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so far it's making, what, $15K a month?
Last month, I believe we brought in about 18,000. The month prior, about 16, and our first month was a bigger month coming in.
But your lease is $30,000.
Correct.
So you're bleeding money every month.
Correct. And we're waiting on our realtor, actually, hopefully today, to give us some information on having a tenant come in to part of that space to sublease it out, which we're hoping will help.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get 50%, right?
You need this thing to be making $75,000 to $100,000 a month.
$100,000.
Well, we're not actually paying ourselves out from the business, and we don't really have any overhead. So if we can make,
that's the scary part. How are you guys living?
Yeah, how do you eat?
Well.
So you're working for free while going hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt.
Yeah, so we were both working right up until we opened the business. I am currently in an IOP OCD treatment program, so I have a couple more weeks of that before I can go back to work. My husband is, I think he's doing interviews today actually to take on remote work from our business while he does that at the same time. We need to be making we can make ends meet and actually profit on about $45,000 a month.
There's no way.
We don't have, because we don't have any.
What about your insurance? You have to be insured in case a kid gets hit by a ball or turns his ankle and sues you for the whole thing.
Yeah,
What's your insurance?
Our insurance is about $2,000 a month, I believe. We had to have general, and then we had to have workers' comp as well, even though we don't actually have any employees. But
okay, so are you never going to take a vacation?
At this point, no. That was the goal, but yeah, at this point, our intentions were to pay ourselves out, obviously, from the business, and that didn't work out. And so we've kind of burned through savings up to this point, both being there all day, every day, trying to make that successful. And it's to the point now that we're going to have to go back to work and do both at the same time.
Have you sat down? If you haven't, please, anytime somebody's in this level of stress, whether it's in their marriage, with a new business, there has to be a moment in this chaos when everybody exhales and you and your husband get a whiteboard and you write down on that whiteboard every single person you owe. And then you also on that whiteboard write down every single dollar it costs to run this thing every month. Because right now y'all are robbing Peter to pay Paul. You got money coming in one way. Some of this is borrowed. You got a credit card over here. It just feels like it's everywhere. I don't think, I don't know if you can't see me and George. I don't think you understand how bad this is.
Yeah, we're pretty scared, and we don't. It's kind of hard because there's certain bills that we know are coming that we don't know what they are because we haven't seen them yet. Like our utility bill, we're estimating probably about $5,000, but we haven't actually seen it yet because our building is a split space, so the other side doesn't have a tenant yet. So the landlord didn't actually even split the utilities until not even 30 days ago. So we don't even know.
I think you need to talk to the landlord and explain what's going on. And see how quickly you can get out of this lease, because it's going to continue to bleed money for the foreseeable future.
I mean, how are you're talking about getting 100% more business? How do you expect to go about doing that? Do you even have enough little league and high school and college players to utilize your facility?
We do actually. Yeah, it's kind of a huge market for it here. And when we started the business, there was nothing. There was nothing within 30 minutes of us. And we've had a lot of people coming in, at least, for weather permitting, obviously that changes things, but I just with the potential that I've seen it, I feel like there's a way to do it. There's got to be another way I can bring some more money into it. I'm just kind of stumped as to how.
But let me tell you this, you have to get to a point where your feelings are very important, but you have to get to a point where you're trafficking only in math.
Right.
Because if you feel, you should know how many Little League teams are actually fielded in a 30-minute radius of your house. If you haven't already, you should be knocking on the coaches' doors of the middle school teams, the high school teams, the junior college teams, university teams, giving them special deals, going 24/7. I mean, if you're not knocking on every single door of every coach over and over and giving them coupons, and I mean, that's the only way you can survive. And if you haven't done that, then maybe you've got a shot. But the fact that you don't know, I mean, you guys are just like, no, it's a big market. Like, man, you need to know how many Little League players are in your area, right?
Yeah, when we did our projections for the business, in order to qualify for the SBA loan, we had to have I had to have stacks of paperwork detailing exactly what's in our area, exactly how many kids, exactly how many teams. I don't have it sitting in front of me right now, but we do have all that detailed out. My husband's been coaching for years, so he actually has a lot of personal relationships with high schools, the leagues, everything. So he's reaching out to all those people as well.
Okay, but here's the thing. If he is, there may become a moment that y'all realize you're over your head and it's not going to work. My hope here is that there's 100% more people that y'all haven't reached out to yet.
Right.
Then you've got a shot.
If there's not, what does that look like as far as exiting a business that's not profitable?
You need to sell all the assets you can on the equipment, get out of the lease with as little damage as possible, and then go get full-time jobs, both making six figures, and clean up the debt of the failed business.
Yeah, and maybe reach out to softball teams too, and see if softball, like if there's an equally large softball market in your area too, maybe that's a chance. But yeah, otherwise you're selling assets and you're just going to go beg to the owner of this building. Hopefully your lease isn't a 5-year lease or something, but yeah, this is in a really gnarly way. But you all need to sit down with a whiteboard and be very honest about how much you owe.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Ryan is in Salt Lake City. Hey, Ryan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and George. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure, what's up?
So my wife and I are just about to graduate with our bachelor's degrees. My wife actually will have two at the end of April, and I'll have one. Hers will be in nursing, and mine will be in exercise and wellness, and I'm about to start chiropractic school in Texas. Now, my main question has to do with how to tackle the student loans of chiropractic school as they come. I've listened to a lot of your shows on YouTube, especially the ones having to do with chiropractic school. And I know you don't have the highest thoughts about chiropractic school, but I am anticipating taking about $100,000 to $120,000 in student loans. And the reason that that's lower than what the average would be for chiropractic students is because I've received about $32,000 in academic scholarships for chiropractic school, and my wife will have a job of about $60,000 a year as a nurse. And so those are my main questions.
Okay.
Also, I don't know if it matters. It does matter. My savings is about $35,000.
Okay.
How much debt do you guys have from the schooling so far?
We currently have no debt up until this first semester of chiropractic school. We took out $10,000.
Okay.
Why, when you had $35,000 in the bank?
We wanted to keep it there as a safety blanket if, when we got to Texas, we wanted to get a house, or also keep it there if down the road, once I start my business, we have it there for startup costs.
Okay. Well, I disagree with your strategy. Number one, I wouldn't buy a house while you're in the middle of all this. You're talking about going $120,000 in debt to go to school, meanwhile buy a house, and meanwhile keep $35,000 to the side to build a business later. No. Effectively, what you're doing is you're borrowing money, not for school, but effectively you're borrowing money to keep money in your savings account, and you're borrowing money to open your business later. You're borrowing money to put your down payment on your house. That's effectively what you're doing. So, no, if I were you, if I woke up in your shoes, and I don't think you're going to do this, because I think you're going to do your
But I would take the $35,000 and put it towards chiropractic school. I'd be working while I was in chiropractic school. I continue to work on more scholarships, and I would, your wife's going to be picking up a bunch of overtime to pay for your way through this school, and I'd come out of chiropractic school with no debt and no house. That would be my goal.
Yeah, I'm hearing talk about safety and wanting to feel safe, and all of this debt is not putting you in a place of safety. It's putting you at a place of risk, and when you get out, you're going to feel broke. Even as a chiropractor, even with a great income, because you're broke, because you're making payments on $130,000 of debt at that point, while paying a mortgage payment, by the way, and property taxes and insurance costs and home maintenance costs. So now's not the time to be buying a house. I want you to get your career on the right foot, pay cash for this thing, and later down the road, then we can get into a house.
So if I could put two of you on two separate tracks, and let's see who wins. Your track or the track I just outlined, where you use every dime you can scrape together and you pay cash and you work your way through beans and rice, rice and beans, and you do anything you can do to create an income to get your way through, but you don't have a house and you don't have money to start a business when you come out, but you don't have any debt, versus the plan that you've got, where you've got $120,000 worth of debt, $35,000 in the bank, and you got a house, which means you don't have $35,000 in the bank anymore, and your expenses have gone up. If I can take either one of those two guys and I fast forward them 10 years, my guy will win. You'll end up with the house and owning your business. You might have to work for someone else for a season to save up the money to start your business. You might have to work for someone else for a season to get the house bought, but you won't have any debt hanging around your neck, and every dollar you make will be free for you to plow into your future in cash, and you cash flowed the whole thing. 10 years from today, ready, set, go, my guy will win.
It reminds me of the tortoise and the hare. Classic story, but we got to move slow here. And I think there's a lot of lies that we've believed, especially the younger generations, that, Dave, we deserve a house. We've worked so hard to get through school, and we just deserve the right car.
I didn't even hear entitlement in his voice. I just heard he was trying to be wise, and he's trying to do all these smart things, and he's trying to do three different things that are smart in his mind and doing them in the wrong order. School, house, start a business. And you're trying to do them all at the same time and in the wrong order, and hold this money and try to make this $35,000 do all that. It's not going to do all that.
And it's the same guy who will call 5 years later and say, hey, Dave, I got a chiropractic practice, and I've got hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt because I needed to start it for startup costs. What do I do? I'm broke. And I don't want that for him.
So, Alex, or Ryan, I'm sorry, you're going to do what you're going to do, and I got a feeling just from listening to you, you're probably going to do your plan. But if I could put your twin brother beside you and he worked my plan, he would beat you. That I'm telling you, that's how the math will work out, and that's how life will work out. Heidi is with us in Atlanta. Hey, Heidi, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you for having me and talking to me today. How are you?
Sure. What's up?
I'm in a little bit of a predicament. I'm coming to the realization that I'm having to possibly make some decisions that are not only finance related.
I'm having trouble understanding you. Can you speak directly into your phone, please? It sounds muffled.
Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. A little better. Go ahead and try again.
Talk bold. Okay. Talk bold.
Yeah.
It's just you and me and Dave and like 10 million other people. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. I can't speak too loudly because my husband's downstairs and I don't want to be interrupted by him. So I'm in a situation where my husband's not wanting to work on our finances together. This last 2.5 years, he has not been contributing towards our joint account at all. Money is completely separated, and recently he informed me that if I want my financial situation to change, I have to do something about it. Because I've suggested to him, I've been listening to you for the last month or so here and talking about how if we're going to get out of debt, we need to work on it together. I sent him different shows that you've released, and in order for him to listen to it, he's just not on board with it.
Why?
I'm sorry?
Why does he not want to combine your finances?
He says that he's got a plan in place that works for him, and
it does not include you.
Yeah.
So how long has he been having an affair?
Yeah.
Our finances basically have been always separated.
That wasn't what I asked.
Since I don't know of any particular situation where he is having an affair.
Are you safe?
Yeah, in my home, I'm okay. I just can't speak loudly.
Okay.
You can't what?
Can't speak loudly. So you just called two guys listening to how you are having to speak in your own home out of fear of a man who calls himself your husband. And I need you to hear from me, who's also a husband, sitting next to another guy who's a husband, that safety can come in the form of physical safety, and it can also come in the form of psychological safety where you don't feel welcome in your own house. And Dave's question about, is he having an affair? I need you to hear the behavior. Hear what your husband's trying to tell you through his behavior. That is, you are not a priority. Right. His priorities are somewhere else. And he is disinterested in a relationship with you.
Correct.
Right? And that's heartbreaking, and I'm saying it real direct, and I know that's hard. But you are not safe at all. You know that, right? I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You know that, right?
Yes, I know that. And this is part of the last 4 months has been very revealing.
There you go. And so Dave's question about an affair, that'd be my first question too. Something has changed in this marriage. It was already separate, and we already would have poked at you for having different accounts. Something else has changed. Either he's about to leave, or he already has left, or something has shifted, or he's in trouble, he's got an addiction issue. Something else has shifted.
He's in love with something else.
Right. His phone, politics. There's a lot of different things that are distracting him, but we are all in the same house together ever since COVID, including the kids.
How many children do you have?
2 girls.
And what is your income?
Well, right now it's not where it could be. It's about $40,000.
What could it be?
If I went back to my former career that I left to try to do this RV life with him, I could be making upwards of $90 on my own.
So
maybe what?
She could be making upwards of $90 on her own.
Oh, 90. Yeah. I didn't hear the 90. Okay, I'm sorry. And how old are your children?
13 and 9.
Okay.
Can I ask you a real hard question?
Yes.
Is this the picture of love that you want to communicate to them?
No, it's not. And I've been, wrestling with this, like I said, for the last 4 months. And after speaking to some of my friends and coming to the realization that, not only is it financial abuse, it's my mental health, it's my children's mental health.
There you go.
Yep.
It's all of it. This is not the person my parents raised. My dad, I bought this house on my own, single. I was completely debt-free when I got married, and that has changed.
Okay,
and
kiddo.
I want to get back to who I was before.
There you go.
So here's what you're going to have to do. Your friends aren't who walk through you with this except as friends, but you need to get a good counselor.
ASAP.
So you need to go see a marriage counselor starting today that is a strong person that will try to help you save your marriage if it's salvageable, that will give you some verbiage and some positions to remind you you're not crazy, because you got 2 guys who are saying you're not crazy.
You're not.
Okay? And we both know this stuff, okay? So you need to get a counselor that can guide you through this. You don't want to do this off of a radio call, and you don't want to do this off of your friend's opinion over a glass of wine. You need to get a counselor in your corner that can give you some ways to explain to your husband that what will amount to ultimately an ultimatum.
A boundary.
A boundary that says you are going to re-engage or you're going to disengage. We're not going to play here in the middle, and I'm not going to be abused at this level anymore. And you got to have someone help you set that boundary, not two guys on the radio. But you're not crazy, and you need to do this, and you need to do this right now. John, we got to go back to that last caller for a second, because there's a whole lot of that in America today.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a lot of different ways that husbands and wives interact over money. There's a situation where they work together and everything's combined and they make decisions together, and when they make decisions on their spending and their investing, they realize that they are truly adding a level of unity, a level of oneness to their relationship, a level of communication to their relationship, and that's plan A. And it has the highest probability of increasing the quality of your marriage and the highest probability of you becoming wealthy. Plan A does. Plan B is to healthy, mentally mature, emotionally mature people who operate financially like roommates, but both of them have a vote, and there is a mutual respect, and there's communication between them, but they run separate accounts. That's a plan B. That lowers the probability of wealth building and the quality of the marriage substantially, but it still functions. Plan C, that's even worse, is mom or dad, husband or wife, one of the two, is in charge. And the other one is doled out money as an allowance. Well, I got to check with mama, see if I got any money. Meaning the wife is in charge of the money. Or I got to ask my husband because he handles all the money. And, or, I don't know what we've got. And they die, the one that handles the money dies, and the other one just left clueless and with no skills because they don't have decades of handling anything. They basically are a glorified child being taken care of by an unglorified parent in that setting. And that is damaging to the relationship, and it's really damaging to the money. Really damaging the money. That plan F, where you fail the test, is one toxic member of the team is in control of the money and the other person.
It's finance. That's abuse.
With toxic financial abuse.
Right.
The extreme of that is there's a high correlation in the data and in the actual practice, and I've seen it on the financial side. I've talked with other coaches. You and I have talked about this. You probably can cite a study. I've just talked to other people that have seen it in practice, that if a husband has extreme control over the finances, to the point that the wife is not allowed to can't go to the grocery store by herself, can't pay any electric bill. She's given $2 at a time, not $2,000 at a time. Extreme control. Probably 90 to 95% of the time he's hitting her. Domestic violence tied to that. If there's that level of control, you can just about count on it. That last one gets really close to that.
That's why my first question was, are you safe, right? Because you could feel it.
She wanted to say safe was emotional abuse, but she's upstairs and can't speak loudly because he's downstairs.
That's right.
Which makes me wonder about that whole thing.
And how many calls have we taken, you and I have taken, that have a couple on, they disagree, they're either laughing about it, or they're in jest but serious. That's the first one of these where somebody's hiding upstairs saying, help.
It's not the first one, sadly, but it won't be the last one. But the point of us bringing this up is, to outline what A plan is, B plan is, C plan is, and F plan is. Here's the thing. Every one of those, regardless of who you are and which player you are in that role, is a choice to go forward that way.
Right.
And I would encourage every one of you to choose to move towards the A plan.
Yeah.
Or if you are unsafe, to choose to get out.
Yeah.
Whether you're unsafe emotionally or you're unsafe physically. I don't tell people to file divorce, and I don't tell people to file bankruptcy, but there are situations where you're unsafe, you need to get out of there.
And if you find yourself, she mentioned something at the end of that call that just buried itself in my heart a little bit. She said, this isn't who I am. I've looked up, I bought this house, I bought it on my own, I had a great career, I was debt free, and now I'm somebody else. That's common language of somebody who's in an abusive relationship. I have become somebody else in order to keep myself safe, keep my kids safe, keep this guy from
keep his rage, keep his rage down.
That's right. And when you look in the mirror and say, who are you? Who have you become?
Because there's a rage person in your life.
That is signal number one. Call somebody and get some help right away.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. That's the wrathful man Proverbs talks about is a dangerous character.
Golly, man,
it's a dangerous character, and the sad thing is that he's probably has very low coping skills himself, and that's what drives him to rage.
That's right, yeah. And I'd love for him to get some help as well. And she mentioned something, the number of calls I'm taking, Dave, on my show, the data is bearing it out. The folks over the last 24 months who have gotten psychotic about their cell phones and new data and new information and news, it's destroying people. Put your phones down and say, I got a problem, and go re-engage. Or call.
You get a human being.
Get a counselor, yes.
You do not need turn your stupid screen off and get around human beings. I mean, it's screen time. People have gone down the conspiracy theory or alternate theory or whatever you want to call it, rabbit hole, and they live there.
They've moved in.
Yeah. And so I've had to put up a boundary in my life. I've got a certain number of acquaintances / friends that I'm like, not here.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about COVID anymore. I'm tired of it.
There you go.
It's no longer fun. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Yeah. Because you're all stupid. All of you are stupid. I'm just not talking about it anymore, And if I die from it, y'all can make fun of me then. It's fine. Right. But it's all good. And you can be mad at Dave Ramsey, and you're already mad at him, so screw it. Whatever. It's okay. So, but I mean, this whole thing, you've got to, this rage that has welled up inside of started with a quarantine and has driven people, the fear off of that. It's an existential crisis of another kind.
It is. And we are feeling a mass psychosis, man. We've got, dude, and this is how nonsense gets started, Dave, that you can't wheel back. And so I want people to put their phones down and go call a friend. Call and ask your close buddies, have I been raged out? And if they're good friends, they'll be honest with you. Say, no. Or they'll look you and say, yeah, we've been worried about you.
Yeah.
I've had those moments in my life, man.
Well, you get in fight mode and you stay jacked up.
And you never get off fight. You just go looking for the next fight, the next fight, the next fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a jacked up thing. And then all you do is just keep Fox News on or CNN on, whichever version you are.
And they'll feed it to you.
And they'll make sure you're pissed off.
All 24/7. That's how they get paid.
Exactly. And if not, you can turn on your local news and a tornado's going to kill you. But yeah. Oh, my God. There's a snowstorm! It's like, oh, jeez. Just get in the truck and drive to work.
Or don't. But pick one. Don't be
or don't. But don't be
maniacal about it.
Turn the TV off.
Turn it off.
It's white powder. It's going to be okay. It'll be all right. And so, but the wussification of America, this idea that we don't know how to fight through something, and then when we get into this, we don't have the character structure to fight like a man. Instead, we fight like a boy. And
through power and control,
and jacked up bully mode instead of manly, righteous anger at something that's truly principled and wrong. And so you become an activist. God help you, because you don't have anything else to do. It's weird. It's weird. It's happening out there. And so if you're in those situations, folks, get some help.
Call somebody. Please
call somebody. Get somebody in your corner, walk you out of it, and put the phone down. This is The Ramsey Show.